All right, this is Heaven's Campaign 8, Session 1. Let's go.
Everything goes white, but the stars lingering in the fog of your vision go dark, a contrast of shock and disbelief. It's over. It's finally over. It is that time again, it seems. Funny how, in the end, none of it seemed to really matter. All the warnings, the enduring pain, the fractured friendships, losses and gains, and even the very bending of reality that seems to occur around you, chance warping events in an ever escalating spiral of unusual odds attempting to surmount an inescapable fate. None of it mattered. None of it. None of it ever will matter. So, yes, funny. Funny is the right word. In the moment, all those experiences, those incidents that seemed so cosmically important, but their actual impact, micro at scale, makes it all seem so meaningless. Looking back and down upon the ever cascading events that you believed to be your life and future, you find that they were nothing. Oh, it seemed so dramatic, terrifying even. Whether your death came at the hand of the headsman's axe, the spike of magic splitting your throat, or you evaporating into a burst of white light, the difference is little. The result is the same. Blood in the snow was all that remained. Where others expected to find a corpse, they found nothing. Just blood, lingering around the muddy snow where you fell. The pain is numb. Whether that is from the chill of winter or the peace among the afterlife, one can hardly say. It's hard to remember exactly what happened. Must have succeeded in some way, right? After all, the world is still here. Or is it? You open your eyes for what seems like the first time in forever and truly see. A hallway of dark, polished stone. This building, where it is illuminated quite well through various holes in the wall. There are windows and doors in this place, but no sense of direction. When you walk forward, you feel like you are just going in circles. Your form moves without fatigue. The telltale knot of muscles from hard travel and the tinge of long suppressed stress you couldn't even notice is gone. It is as if when you were walking around, there was a massive invisible boulder on your shoulders. But now the pain is gone. Now you walk freely for the first time. As you step forward and look into a mirror, you see something that should be impossible. Your eyes, your face, even your very shape. It is alien. It's unfamiliar. It is as if gazing into the reflective eyes of a total stranger. It has been some time since you've seen your true self, my old friend, comes an echoing voice down the hall. Confusion, unawareness. It is to be expected. After all, we've been through this quite a few times. You proceed down the hall, carefully investigating the interruption. Before you reach the room at the end of a hall, you notice that some of these mirrors contain peculiar scenes, though looking through them makes even a moment feel like a lifetime. You blink and the images of your birth, your life, and your bitter death flicker through you once more. Not every you, but one of many. The happiness from finding your soulmate, anger when they were taken from you, vengeance, sweet vengeance, when you destroyed the entire city of the mongrels that took from you what you loved, and the shock at the betrayal which ended your life at the hands of would-be heroes. Rage and fire at the dying of embers and a promise to sacred flame. All in the flicker of an infinitesimal moment. Then you were back to yourself. Not unusual, but empty. Devoid of purpose or drive, like an unfilled vessel. Some lives were more complicated than others, the voice calls again. You recover with a sharp intake of breath and try to forget the sensation of steel plunged into you, sharp and hard. Surprisingly, not painful, just quiet. The whole world quiet. Very few like to remember dying. It is understandable, but it is key sometimes. Come, come. No time to reminisce, unfortunately. You step forward and open a large set of wooden doors. It opens into an ornate library. The room being of aged and cured wood with a warm fireplace, the time of a cool, rain-dripped night, and the echoing of ambient firelight providing just enough light to read. Sitting on the table lies a strange metal contraption. It is around a sphere, almost making an orrery. However, around the base of the mechanism are 5 circles. One, the center one, hosting a glowing orb of power. The strange figure, almost wreathed in the shadow of gray and white, pushes an aging hand against it, and they all line up, flush against the edge of the table. "Take the orb into your hands," you hear it speak. From this close, the voice sounds like a strange mixture. An elderly grandfather, but with little patience, sharp as a knife on silk. The orb is cool in your palm, but warms and flushes with mixtures of color. Inside the swirling orb, you can almost make out a figure. Something unknown, yet feels familiar. "Ah, I see. Wise choice." Before you can even open your mouth to speak, the orb spins and finds itself back on the mechanism, fluctuating with power. "I'm afraid there's no time for explanations. Not this time, anyway. The others have already been sent. Our window is closing. I'm afraid you won't be seeing me again after this. I wasn't able to completely reset the timeline. Some might still remember you, I don't know. Remember, be aware, be steadfast." He launches his hand at your chest, and you fly backward toward a mirror of glass. The glass shatters, and all around you is an infinite void. The glass reforms, and you find yourself inside the swirling sphere, heading towards a tiny, tiny dot in the distance. A tiny ball of blue and green light, little as it is, begins to glow. Stars begin to populate the void, and you can see smears and smatterings of color and dust throughout the vast expanse. After a few seconds, in what seems like an eternity, you are joined by 4 other streaks of light, closing in on that mysterious, blue little ball. You hear once more the voice calling to you. "Find the 9. You'll know when you see them. They are cloaked from my eyes, but will identify themselves to you. After all, they know you. Bring the 9 to the center, and all the sins of all your time might be forgiven. Those who wander most often find the way." You begin to close in on the ball, the world. You see a tiny, tiny speck in the center of a vast ocean of sand. A city, and in but a moment of an age, you have landed. In your mind's eye, you can almost feel a storied tone set in place. The room being of aged and cured wood with a warm fireplace, the time of a cool, rain-dripped night, and the echoing of flickering firelight providing just enough light to read. Sitting on a table is a worn leather journal embedded with studded metal, sitting open as vellum pages and the scent of vanilla fills your thoughts. A golden quill wielded by an aging hand begins to inscribe a story of wonder, of sacrifice, of magic and fantasy, a story of your very life and the lives many of you have lived before. The quill begins to write and to tell a story, your story. An aging voice begins to record audibly the beginnings of your now epic tale. "It started at the beginning, like all things do. Not just one beginning, of course, one of many. They called it the Night of Fallen Stars, and little did anyone else know it would change everything."
All right. Let's see. Okay. Do you want to go ahead and start off by introducing your characters?
Sure, I can do mine first.
Sure.
So, Morelia is an astro elf who has just landed in the mortal realm and has just been wandering, going from library to library, doing any jobs they can to gain access to the ruins of libraries, to the grand mystique libraries, to any amount of knowledge of the past of the world, and any history they can gather, anything they can get their hands on to figure out how time passes and how it's recorded. They wander, take any types of jobs they can get their hands on, but really it's just after history, because of course they themselves can't perceive it. So why not look around? Find out. and explore. And of course, if they come across an item or two that no one will miss, no one will know. That's really just Morella.
Interesting. All right.
So mine is Virtue. She is an Aasimar monk who has no memories of her parents or any other family. She's recently set off from the monastery where she spent most of her time growing up in order to go on a journey, so to speak, to raise her level of enlightenment and learn more about the world. Hopefully, while she's at it, she wants to try to find that connection to her family that she doesn't know through her celestial heritage of being an Aasimar.
Cool. So you guys, all of a sudden, feel a thump, and you wake up as if from a dream. And you're not quite sure if what just happened actually happened. You know, because you are you after all. And you're in like what appears to be like a cellar of like an inn. But it's a nice cellar. It's got a few stalls for horses and some hay. It's got a couple nice tables and some chairs. It's got like the different kinds of things you'd expect in it, like crates and wine and things like that. And in the shadows, you just hear the crunching sound of someone eating a carrot. And he says, "What's up?"
What? Mm, sorry. Repeat that for me?
A thin, wiry man steps out of the shadows, and he leans in and bites a carrot, and he says, "What's up?"
Hello.
Do you remember how we got to the cellar?
You don't remember. The man says, "I rescued you. You fell from the sky and hit my donkey." He points to a donkey with a bandaged leg.
If we fell on the donkey, wouldn't have it died and not broke a leg?
He shrugs. "I don't control how physics work."
Suppose
Hmm.
so.
He
Sorry
says, "It was
about
never
your
my
donkey.
department." Go ahead, Virtue.
Sorry about your donkey.
He looks at the donkey and says, "Me too. I'm gonna have to put him down."
Just for a broken leg can heal. Just give it a couple months.
He pulls out some kind of weird contraption. It has like some kind of strange wooden and metal parts. It's like a wooden handle thing, and on top there are like two metal pipes that kind of point out. He breaks it kind of like in half, and it seems like it's meant to. And he loads two strange cylinder objects in. He's like, "No, no, gotta put him down."
Are you sure that's the absolute correct step, or are you just very eager for that step?
No, no, no. It was in a book I read once. When a donkey breaks a
book?
leg, you have to put him down.
What if I could heal it?
He reluctantly puts down the object. And he says, "Well, I suppose that's an option. I never really thought
Suppose?
about it. I've always just gotten new donkeys."
I mean, if you'd rather just get a new donkey, we can leave it be, but I could also try to heal it if you'd like.
Please roll me insight.
Alright.
Fool, he's just really eager to kill that donkey.
How do I roll on here? Let me just find a dice roller. Let's say it's +6. 23.
You notice some unusual facial expressions in the donkey.
You okay?
I'm gonna look at the donkey a bit closer.
It leans close and tries to sniff at your face.
I'll go
What
ahead
a
and put a hand on it and then use healing hands.
It feels much better. It looks at you and says, "Thanks."
Oh,
It smells
that's
more and
unique.
says, "You smell like lavender."
See?
Um, hmm, that. Do
Uh,
all of your donkeys talk?
the donkey looks at you and says, "Yes, it's what donkeys do." Also, Virtue, roll me a charisma save.
Oh
Uh-oh.
boy. Oh boy,
Congratulations,
I've got a -1 for that one. Let's see.
That's very unfortunate.
5.
You feel you have lost a. Do you have spell slots?
I do not.
Okay. You feel it try to pull magic from you. It looks at you and says, "You're a dry well, huh?"
Yeah. The only bit of magic I have is just a little bit of healing.
I'll be right back.
It sniffs towards
Okay.
Morella.
Try that on me, and you will not succeed.
Just a little taste.
No.
The innkeeper kind of looks at the donkey and's like, "Hey, get back in your stall, or I'll break your leg again."
So it wasn't our fault.
No, I mean, never mind. It was an accident.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Have no matter. In any event, these things happen, when donkeys don't behave. But in any event, I saved your lives, so I figured a little tit for tat.
Perhaps.
Yeah, all I need is just a little delivery. It's just a trifle, really. It's not that big of a deal.
What kind of delivery?
Oh, just being an item to a friend of mine. I lost him in a poker game, and this is me paying up.
What kind of item?
He pulls out a vial. It's stoppered with a rune on top.
Seems.
Do I recognize the rune?
It's designed for containment. It's an empty vial.
Why an empty vial?
He points at the rune. See the rune? It's expensive.
And where is this friend?
Oh, he's just half a day's travel away on an airship. But it's okay. I already secured transportation.
What's
Safe
he need this
transportation?
for?
Of course it's safe transportation.
What does your friend need this for?
I don't know, actually. He wagered a bunch of gems. I wagered a random item in my house, and he took it.
And you decided that.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that kind of checks out.
I suppose so. There's not
So,
much
what do you
else to do.
say? Do we have a deal?
Deal.
I suppose we do.
Excellent. He puts out a hand. Care to shake on it?
Not really. Is our verbal agreement not
Hold
enough for
on,
you?
hold on.
Move.
Jesus. Alright, anyway. Oh, I feel better with a handshake.
You can handshake yourself.
Well, fine. But I tell you what, I'll sweeten the deal. I'll give you, let's say, 1 month, room and board. And maybe, he looks at you closely, a little bit of gold to freshen up.
Rude. It's not like we wanted it to fall out of the sky, apparently.
Happens to the best of us.
No, it really doesn't. But I suppose so. And a few meals.
Yeah, a month of room and board. It's a pretty good deal. He proffers
Suppose
his
so.
hand.
Room and board here?
Yes, at my end.
Does that mean that you have a return trip chartered for us as well?
He smiles. I have plenty of plans for your return.
That doesn't sound ideal. Is it a safe return?
Yeah, I mean, I've never had anyone die on it.
How many people have you had?
He shrugs. Couple handful.
Mm. I suppose that's a better deal than the beginner one.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But I'm still not shaking your hand.
What about you? He points to Virtue. You'll get the purse.
I mean, normally I would, but you're being so pushy about it that I kind of don't want to.
Ah. He shrugs. Okay. He puts the purse back in his pocket. Your choice. Oh, you might want to take these. He proffers you a small envelope with some bulbs in it.
I take the envelope.
Make sure you wear them. It's insurance.
What'd you say was in it?
Insurance.
Insurance?
Well, in a manner of speaking, technically their rings are supposed to prevent you from dying if you, I don't know, fall.
Hmm. Okay.
It's just a bonus, really. I just had them laying around. No reason.
No reason. I will reluctantly take a ring and just kind of loosely wear it. Yeah, I can take it off if needed, but it's on safely. I don't trust it.
I'm the same.
Excellent. Now, he sits down and he says, how do you guys feel about life insurance?
I rather like my extended life.
Now, boy, do I have a deal for you. He starts to pull out a parchment, and all of a sudden, an old woman appears behind him, kind of like blinking out from the shadows, and she hits him with a broom. Get, she yells. He hisses like a cat and runs upstairs.
That took care of pests.
Oh, hello, dearies. I'm Grandma Magda. You can just call me Graham.
So what was up with that guy?
He has his uses, unfortunately. But let's just say he's in a precarious position. Now, have you eaten? Would you like some sweets? I have chocolates and pie.
The pie does sound good.
Ah, excellent. I have cherry, strawberry, and pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
Do you have
Excellent.
anything more substantial than sweets?
Oh, sure. I have some roasted duck somewhere.
Ooh.
Sorry, repeat that.
She has some roasted duck somewhere.
Ah. I mean, probably be good.
She directs you upstairs. You follow her, go upstairs, and you just see how the top is like a common room. It's really busy. In the corner, Jeb is like sweeping, and Like it's pretty loud and boisterous. And she sits you down at a table and brings you food. She also brings you two special cookies. She says, "If you need to, just eat them whenever you're hurt."
Yeah.
They are
Thank
gingerbread
you.
cookies.
Ooh.
I'll wrap it up and stash it.
I will do the same. Sadly, not eating it yet.
One second. They are cookies that have a potion of healing in them.
Absolutely wonderful.
Are you guys aware of the rule regarding potions?
Mm,
Or
no.
Instead of being an action to roll, instead it's a bonus action to eat to use the potion, and you roll for the effects, or you can use a full action to get the full healing from it.
okay.
Okay, that makes sense.
Indeed.
She also hands you a muffin. It is blueberry. She says, "If you ever want to unlock your potential, just eat the muffin in an emergency."
What's the muffin do?
She shrugs. Depends on the person. I just cook.
You cook wonderfully.
She pats your cheek. Behind you, you hear a loud sound of a man spitting on the floor. And then all of a sudden, there is silence. She leans into you and says, "Just one moment." She grabs him by the foot and drags him kicking and screaming up the stairs.
Virtue just watches it happen.
This
Wow,
guy's
that's a woman
big.
who can take care of
This guy is
herself.
huge.
She is quite strong, huh?
And then a few seconds later, you hear a scream as he's thrown from the second story window.
That's a woman who knows how to run an inn.
She comes back down and sits. "Oh, thank you for so much for patience. Now, can I ask you a small favor? Can you check up on a friend of mine?
Sure, I suppose so. If
It,
we're already doing errands.
she's a young girl. You'll see her when you go to the airship, most likely. She's on the way. Just be nice to her. Make sure she's okay."
Okay. Do we have a name for her?
Her name is Belinda.
Belinda.
What does she look like?
Oh, she describes what appears to be a 12-year-old girl in a white dress.
Is the city safe for her?
I've tried to get her to come live at the inn, but she refuses. She likes living out there.
I suppose if she's happy, then that overrides it.
Mm,
We'll
indeed.
look for her.
Okay. So, you guys finish up eating. What do you do?
Suppose we
Suppose.
may as well make our way towards the airship.
Okay. Um, let's see.
Looking for that girl on the way.
Yes. Belinda.
Hmm. So, you guys have walked outside, and you can see a sign. It talks about like where you are. You're in the city of Osriel. You have no idea where you are.
Never heard of this city before.
But based on like the dirt and everything and the very hot air, you can kind of get the sense you're in a desert city.
Hmm.
I get the sense we're in a desert city.
Yeah, I think you're right.
You guys continue towards the airship or the instructions you were given, and you come across an alley with a barrel, and you see a pair of young feet that are barefoot, just sticking up
So
past the barrel.
I keep hearing those words.
I will look for the owner of the feet.
You see a young girl in a white dress.
Belinda?
She looks up, she tilts her head. How do you know my name?
Graham at the nearby inn. She told us to look for you. Not to bring you, but just to check up.
Oh, I'm okay. She's currently playing with rats that are dancing at her feet while she feeds them cheese.
As long
They're
as
very
you're okay
cute.
with
Repeat what you said?
They're very cute.
What did you say, Virtue?
it. I said, okay, as long as you're okay.
And she looks at you and meets your eyes. Her eyes are white. She is blind.
I just kind of give a look to Virtue, and then I just kind of say, "Would you like that? Have they taken good care of you? Just like you have to them?
Yes, they're my friends. Do you
Friends
have
are
any
important to have."
cheese?
Can I look? Can I like look in my bag because I have so much stuff to see if I have any perhaps cheese in my bag?
We have some old cheese.
I'll pass it. Will this do?
Thank you.
Hopefully that's enough for however many friends you have.
She looks at you, Morella, and tilts her head again and says, why do you want to know so much?
I can't perceive time. So if I look enough and if I know enough, then perhaps I can figure out how everyone else perceives it. Time is just fascinating, isn't it?
Hold on 1 second.
Love that. Belinda
She
has a
reaches
book
out.
one.
She reaches out a hand to touch Morella.
I give her my hand easily.
Suddenly, time seems to stop. Virtue is completely frozen, as is everything else.
Oh, that's unexpected.
Suddenly, golden sparks around Virtue's head, and time seems to proceed again for her. And you hear Belinda say, timeless flows from apart, and time it comes from the dark. So wish to see upon tower so tall, that you wish to be under the siren's call. Tall gems, a place of trust, where knowledge you seek, a sword you must thrust. And suddenly the effect disappears, and she blinks.
I'm staring gobsmacked at uh Lily for a second before I look back to Belinda and just kind of pats her hand very gently and said, "Thank you."
Virtue is also very surprised.
She looks at Virtue and says, "Do you have any cheese?"
I don't. It doesn't keep very well.
Only if you don't know how to preserve it well.
Okay. She leans in close and says, "Do you like dogs?"
I love dogs.
She looks at Virtue excitedly. "Do you like dogs?
Okay,
Do you want to pet a dog?
sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, come home with me." And she pulls out her backpack and opens it.
Don't tell me that's
A ladder comes out of the backpack.
fascinating.
She gets on the ladder and kind of starts going in, and as right before her head disappears, she looks. She says, "You coming?"
Absolutely. Melia has no doubts about it. She immediately follows.
There are two wolves inside of you. Morella's like, "Let's go do it." Virtue's like, "Let's get the fuck away."
Yeah, pretty much.
If there's
But
curiosity,
Virtue will follow Morella.
Morella's gonna do it. She's damn curious.
You climb into the backpack, and down the ladder, you come into what appears to be an inky black void. Except looking closer, something has changed. Everyone, roll me perception.
Yeah.
Oh boy,
have
I'm
a +7
always
to
so bad
perception.
at perception checks. Got a +6, but I'm always really bad at these rolls.
20, not natural.
Oh, 23.
Okay, both of you see something
No, wait, no,
strange.
20, 30, 20. I
It
was
is
thinking
not an
26.
empty. It is not an empty void. Instead, it is a place of light, where the platform is shielded by light, and there are small black tendrils, like tentacles or hands, pressing against, like oil against the sheen.
I very cautiously look into it, not getting near it, but I just cautiously like peer into it, trying to see what was happening. But
A
I eventually
finger
lean
or a
away.
hand pushes against it and starts to bend the light, poking towards you.
Is the girl
Ooh,
still down
yes.
here?
Yes, she's sitting next to a
Yes.
door, an ornate door, that looks like a door to like some kind of fabulous inn.
I'm gonna go stand
Resist-
closer to her.
She says,
I'm gonna
"Don't
resist.
knock on the door. You might make Sebastian angry."
Who's
Who's
Sebastian?
Sebastian?
She shrugs. He's my friend. He gets mad at me sometimes when I leave.
He's there for your safety?
Yeah, it's safe in here.
Okay. I will resist the temptation to poke the finger back and come stand by the two.
Okay. Virtue. You notice something very strange. You feel something licking you in the back of your leg, right behind your knee, all of a sudden.
I'm gonna look back there to try to see what it is.
You don't see anything.
What
You
the
okay?
heck?
Whoa,
Morella
Medbridge.
feels the
What?
same thing on
me?
Morella feels the same thing in her ankle. Virtue, roll me perception.
Alright. Need to find a better program to do this with. 13.
You see a dog's head poking out of Morella's shadow.
Oh,
Gotcha.
there's a dog
You
in the
okay?
shadow.
A dog?
Yeah, your shadow's connected with Belinda's.
Oh, that's fascinating. Where's the Is the dog the one that's playing with us, Belinda?
She nods. Come on out. And the dog's head appears, and then the body appears, and it just keeps
Oh,
on appearing. It sits. How tall
hey,
is Virtue?
Uh, she's about 6 foot.
His head stops at your chin.
It's a big dog.
big boy.
It wags immediately.
Such a good boy.
He gets excited.
Oh, he's such a good boy.
Ball, 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 ball.
You a good boy.
He drops a very soaked and slobbery ball at your foot.
Boy. I pass the ball to Virtue.
Rachel will gently throw it. Not like too close to that weird thing, but
He jumps in the air. He just basically stands in the air, catches it, and then bites it slightly, and it just gets crushed into nothingness.
Such a
Oh.
strong. Such a strong boy. That's okay.
Whenever he gets sad, you notice his size slightly diminishes.
hmm.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, Virtue, you hear something behind you. You hear a
Going
whisper.
to behind
Would
me.
you be God?
Excuse me?
You turn around and nothing is there.
Night pet, the big boy.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm just kind of looking around the rest of the room for this mysterious voice.
Virtue, you okay?
The surface of a man, his like face, is pouring through the wall, and it reaches out a hand
Ah,
and says, "Come with me, and we'll be in a world of pure devastation."
That
oh,
sounds very good.
fascinating. I want to lean in to poke him, but I am very not okay with what he's doing.
I've decided I don't want to die today.
Yeah, I think Virtue would probably stop Morella at that one.
I just imagine
Right.
Morella just like just reach out to boop the snoot, and you're just like, no.
Linda, who is, you know, the creepy tall wheel?
She looks at you. The what? I don't
Can
see
you hear
anything.
him? Can you hear him?
No.
So it's imagination.
She leans in
Wonderful.
close and she says, I put him on mute.
You did such a smart thing, Linda.
Mm-hmm. She nods. He called my dog fat.
Oh, that's such a
He is
mean
not
thing.
fat. He just needs sausages every day. And I trust him to tell me how many sausages he needs because he knows best. You now
I
notice
stare at
the
the dog.
slight gluttony of the dog's stomach.
You're so smart. So smart indeed.
So do we know what time that airship we're supposed to be getting on leaves?
In like an hour.
We have time to look around.
Is time the same in here as it is outside?
Maybe? Probably not.
She looks at you and tilts her head. Time?
Yeah, like how many
Sun.
words would you
Sundown,
say?
sunup. What? I only know the passage of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, see how many
What
words
is
you can
By the
say.
way, Virtue, she did not count to 6, she counted to 2.
Hmm.
I only know solstice. That's the only time I actually pay attention.
Morella believes she counted to 6.
I fully believe I counted to 6. That's the only way I know how.
But yeah, is clearly you spend time in here. Is it the same as it is outside?
I don't think so. It she looks at you and she's like, I don't know. It's just whenever I want to come out, I just come out, and it's the time I need it to be.
That
Hmm.
is fascinating. You're a very good kid.
Hmm. She kicks the ladder, and a backpack falls on the floor, and the entire area shakes.
Can you just tell us what just happened?
It's okay. I put the backpack in the backpack.
How do you get out of
You
the
go back in the
backpack or
backpack.
from the backpack?
An
Huh.
endless sleep?
Well, technically, if it makes sense, I'm pretty sure the world is the backpack, and the backpack is not the backpack.
I see.
So whenever you want to go in the backpack, you just leave the backpack.
You're absolutely correct. That's amazing. You're so small. Can I pick up the backpack and examine it?
The moment you touch it, you feel everything shake.
I backpedal away.
Yeah, the backpack doesn't like being moved.
Just wanted to look at it.
Don't your backpacks do this? I thought it was normal.
No, mine definitely does
It's
not do this.
well, with how many weapons I have, mine probably at very least. But your backpack is extraordinary, Belinda.
Oh, thanks. My dog brought it to me.
Such a good boy.
She nods. I found him in the backpack.
Oh. Did Sebastian come in the backpack too? Or was it, like, appeared in the gateway?
She shrugs. Well, I'm not a huge fan of the place between places. Sebastian doesn't let me leave. He gets mad when
Okay.
I do.
Do you know why he gets mad when you do?
She kind of like rolls her eyes and looks down and says, No.
Is, you want to try again?
She looks at you and kind of goes, No.
Can you please try again?
Fine. He gets mad because sometimes I get down out there. I'll go out there to help people, but no one ever knows what I'm doing, and I go everywhere. He gets mad, and I see the people, and she just continues on like that for a solid 2 minutes.
I listen to her rapidly. I listen to every single word she says.
She says, "Sometimes I go out there whenever I need to. I go where I need to be, and I help the people I need to help. I just know where I need to be." And then he's mad because sometimes it hurts
Does
a
it
lot.
hurt
So yes.
you
Hmm?
or does it hurt him? Or does it hurt the people that you're helping?
Um. Yes.
Well, seems like he's just being protective.
She points at your side, Virtue, like that.
I'm going to look down very alarmed.
You feel a memory of a pain you didn't know you felt. Was someone stabbed you?
Oh.
Just gonna hold it with my hand. Hmm.
She looks sad and looks to Virtue and says, "Can I have a hug?"
Is she asking
I
Virtue?
Yes.
guess I'm going to like very awkwardly and very gingerly hug her.
Never hugged a person.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll look up some stuff.
Oh boy.
We'll
That's
come back
never what
right
you
to
want to
go.
hear, but
Low charisma throw.
So, what is your character's like backstory, Lily? Did you ever iron that out?
I sent you what I've got on it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm trying to fucking find, and I don't know where the fuck it is. I sent you too many memes.
Yeah.
The sadness.
Let's see. I thought about pinning it. I did not pin it. Let's see. I know I typed backstory before
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Yeah, that way it could actually be
Oh yeah,
found.
I'm a pin the fuck out of that.
Yeah.
How many memes did you send in order to have to scroll that
Too
long?
many memes. Okay,
You.
goes up 15, 30 plus memes.
God. I'm just gonna spam you an entire story next time.
Okay. Okay. So when you hug her, she touches your side, and suddenly you don't feel pain. You feel cool, and then you feel warmth. And she whispers in your ear, white from white, reborn a student as a teacher. Skin so pale, it's like a child's eyes. Life so painful, it is like living a knowing lie.
Hit him with the Shakespeare.
Virtue's just blinking, very confused, trying to absorb what she said.
I'm putting it in lore drops. The pain in your side is now gone. Roll me perception, Virtue. Morella may too, as well, if she wishes.
Yay!
13.
Nat 20.
Alright, Morella, you get rewarded for this. Looking into her eyes, it's not just the white. She has normal eyes, but it's cloaked in a white. Like a galaxy. A tiny, million tiny stars. And it becomes milky white. A little bit more. Teeny tiny bit. Covering a small black spot. She's now a teeny tiny bit more blind.
Oh no. That is my prophecy. Sorry. There it is.
Well, thank you for making that weird pain go away.
I just stare at Belinda. Just kind of absorbing what I just saw and silently mourning. Thank you, Belinda, for everything.
She nods. You know, if you want to hang out with my dog anytime, you just carry my backpack around.
The
Do
backpack
you mind?
didn't like to be moved.
Only in here. You don't move the backpack when you move it outside.
Ah.
I mean, if we, would you like to go adventuring with us?
She nods. I would like that very much. She looks at you. As long as you give me cheese.
We will try our best to keep a good supply of cheese going.
Excellent.
What do you say? About you? Want to have a new companion? As long as we keep her safe, there's no harm, really.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with her coming, but I will say that this space kind of creeps me out with like that weird whispering and stuff.
I mean, if I ignore the whispering, it kind of feels like home. Well, the timeless sense, anyway, feels like home. But yeah, we'll take you. And then you get to explore.
Yay, Belinda says. Now she's going to get a small yellow ball and toss it. It bounces against the wall in like a crazy pattern. And then something strange happens. It goes into the backpack. Suddenly, the dog leaps for the backpack.
Oh.
It's in the backpack. It's gone.
I will cautiously open the backpack to see what just happened.
The dog is currently chasing a ball that is running away in the middle of everywhere. And you kind of notice you only see the outline of the dog. And so people don't know what's going on, and so they're being knocked aside by the dozen by this massive dog chasing a ball that's running away.
This is absolutely fascinating. I will climb back out of the backpack. Into the backpack, out of the backpack, I suppose.
There is a man pulling a cart. The dog goes through it.
Oh.
Cabbages go
Virtue will
everywhere.
also follow. Oh no, not the cabbages!
I just moved to the city, the man says.
I love how we had the exact same thought, exact same knowledge.
Not the cabbages!
His poor
It
cabbages.
truly is universal.
It truly is.
That guy can never get a break.
He even changed universes and he got fucked over.
Yeah.
It's okay. He'll be okay eventually.
The dog has confused his ball with cabbages, and now he's biting a cabbage, bringing it back to be thrown.
That poor man. That poor boy. Come on, Virtue.
No, I'm sure it's fine.
Hold on, I have to put a GIF.
That's what's taking the story. He needs therapy.
Okay. The dog kind of looks at you and then realizes he done something slightly wrong, and he shrinks a little bit.
It's okay.
He leans
Happens.
down. Go ahead.
Oh, just saying, it happens.
He kind of gets on all fours and he does the scoot forward thing like a retriever does. Slowly getting closer to like at the height of like your thigh, by the way, because he's so tall. And he kind of just like slinks into your shadow.
I'm
That's
guessing he
handy.
dropped the cabbage.
Yes.
No, he just comes with like a full mouthful of cabbages.
What
And less
state is the
protein.
cabbage in?
You can never escape the cabbages. You think you got rid of one? No, wrong. There's another one. That's all they have. That's all you will ever have.
How far away is that cabbage from the rest, and what state is it in?
It's a pretty destroyed cabbage, considering it had a massive dog jaw on it. It would appear that Slowford is the type of dog to slobber a bit.
I'm gonna drop the cabbage in the backpack.
Yay, food!
Okay. Are you looking at the cabbage when it falls in the backpack?
Absolutely.
The cabbage gets flung from midair and drowned in the sea of blackness, and then slowly melts away from entropy.
Neat.
It's vaguely concerning.
It's just what backpacks do, guys.
I mean,
I'd
mine
love to say
definitely
more.
does not do that, but
Have you tried? Have you tried going in your backpack?
With that attitude, that says no.
I can't say that I've tried going in it, but I have certainly dropped things in it before.
Fair.
Like cabbages?
Yes.
So, you guys proceed along the way. I assume you guys go towards the airship at this point, correct?
Yeah.
I assume so.
Okay. You get to what appears to be the airship landing about 15 minutes before it's supposed to leave. And you see a goblin at the landing. And he sees you and says, "Oi, ride's closed."
What do you mean by it's closed?
You speak common?
Yes?
He says something more elaborate and slightly more offensive than goblin.
Can I use comprehend languages to understand what this fucker just said to me?
Is it worth your spell slot to understand how you're insulted by the goblin?
It's not like I have anything else, yes.
I think we just
Okay.
have why
Start
it's
it.
closed.
Start of adventure, level 1. I'm gonna use half my spell slots to understand an insult. Got it.
Yes. What did this fucker just say to me?
He says, "Honestly, you look kind of the type. Your hair looks a mess." You know, he's just going on and on about your physical appearance and like how disheveled you are. And then he's like, "Honestly, you smell worse than a goblin."
I want to insult him back in his home language. I want to mimic one of the insults and say it back to him.
Well, I do smell like a goblin, considering I am one.
You an absolute worthless piece of life that does not deserve to walk this mortal plane for much longer. Beware of your hours.
Ah,
So
well,
why is it closed?
well, because the people on top, the nobles who rented it, will kill me if I let anyone up there. They rented the entire airship.
Jeff,
Hey, that's strange because I thought that we had reservations or like some kind of accommodations to be.
Yeah. Oh, you're from Jeb. Well, that changes things. He looks to Marilla slightly. And so he says, "I can get you riding the airship, but not exactly on top of it."
I swear if it's dangerous.
No, I mean, nah. I mean, who even fishes in the desert?
Mm,
Virtue's just kind of giving him a side eye.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about heights?
well, I hope those rings come in handy if this is going where I think it's going.
And more like, I hope we don't use the rings.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing you have them, just in case. But so I got this here rope, and you can't go on the airship, but that doesn't mean you can't be a hangers on, as it were.
Will it be safe?
Well, I mean, no one's ever died from it yet. I think.
I see.
Besides, I got this here special rope.
Can I examine the special rope?
Roll Arcana.
I am also looking at this rope very
Skeptically.
doubtful. Yeah.
17.
It is not magical. It is in fact very cheap rope.
You're gonna kill us.
No, 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 no. Look, 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 look. Okay, look. I don't have the good rope because they took it all, but I got this, and we'll just double tie, we'll just double knot it. Okay, it'll be fine.
I stare at him.
It'll be okay. Yeah, you can trust old Gob here.
No.
You sure there's not just like some little tiny corner we could skulk in on it or something?
If you get caught, I'm the one that gets killed, so no.
I mean, that's a big if on the getting caught part, though.
They're not gonna use the whole ship. You just said they're just gonna be on the top side. Meaning that
Yeah,
the rest
and
of the
they've got
ship is on
guards up the
full.
wazoo.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah. When a member of the ruling family's on the airship, the whole fucking thing is locked down. They'll kill me if anyone shows up.
That would
And you rather
certainly
have
do it.
passengers dangling on the side?
Well, then me dying, yes.
So when does the next one leave?
He shrugs. Not for a couple of weeks, probably. This isn't the trading season. I mean, you could always go wherever you need to go on foot, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I'll take the rope.
I'm going to look at that rope, and I'm going to compare it mentally to my own rope and decide which one is better.
Your rope is not the bargain bin rope.
I'm going to take out my rope and be like, how about we meet in the middle and not use that garbage?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's garbage. I would say it's homemade with care, but he kind of just trails off near the end there. Yeah, sure, we can use your rope. He says somewhat self-consciously.
I suppose it's better than any alternative. If we at least can safely anchor ourselves.
He says, "Yeah, I can get you all tied up. No worries. I'm an expert at it. I've been doing this a long time. No deaths so far."
I'm good. How
I'm
many times have you done this?
going to double check all of his knots.
What, you don't trust his 3 in deception?
Absolutely not.
No.
I don't trust this goblin any further than I can throw him, and I've got a strength of 9.
Hold on. That's going in quotes. Give me a second.
This hogwash of a goblin thinking can deceive with its pathetic +3, then I'd rather have it be hanging off the side and let it dangle from below. He tried so hard, and yet he failed so much.
Okay. So, he's like, "Yeah, I've done it a bunch. You can trust me. It's fine."
How many?
Well, it's look, cargo. Okay, cargo is cargo, whether it's people or boxes.
So, none.
Well, I
Not a
mean, the
human.
boxes have like hooks on them, so does the rope. It's the same thing, really.
It is not the same thing. Organically, chemistry, spiritually, does cargo have feelings? Have you transported animals?
I did a goat once.
And did the goat survive?
Well, technically, technically no, he was kind of eaten, but that wasn't because of the knots.
Are you sure?
Yes, the knots were entirely enclosed when he got snatched out of the air.
Snatched out of the air by what?
Oh, I mean, when he fell horribly, accidentally.
No. Don't try to do that.
Oh, so now it
Got
did fall from
snatched
your
by
knot.
Well, okay, well, fuck.
How are you not so weak that something can easily snatch it from the side of an airship that should have been anchored safely and very much unable
It
to
wasn't
snatch?
anchored. It was in the middle of the desert, actually. They can
Where?
leap, man. The things can leap. What can I say?
Off the
How far
airship?
down was the goat from the bottom of the airship?
Not far. I mean, the goat was only about a mile up.
Why was it so low? Why was the airship so low?
It's still like 5,000 feet.
I don't trust you.
What exactly jumped that high?
It flew
Sand
that
shark?
fast. Great, there's animals you haven't told us about.
Everyone knows about sand sharks. It's not my fault you managed to go to a desert city without knowing any of the hazards nearby.
Yeah, I don't even know how I fucking got here, if I'm being honest.
We fell
But
from the sky.
so we're here now.
He looks at you and says, "You what?"
I don't know how I got here. Apparently, we fell out of the sky.
He looks at Morella and says, "You what?"
Fell out of the sky. I thought you were proficient in common.
Ah, uh, interesting knowledge, knowing that. He looks rather nervous.
What do you know that we
I
don't?
I think you should get on the airship and leave
What do you know
immediately.
that we don't?
He takes a cursory look at a few guards in black armor walking around and interrogating people. And he says, "I think it's time you get on the airship and leave."
Come on, Butcher.
That's probably a good idea.
He has you attach ropes to the airship, and then he pulls out a wand of rope tying.
Is it a wand of rope time?
Yes.
Okay.
As far as you can tell,
Well,
he taps it and it wraps it up right just nicely.
Are we like against the airship or are we in the
Dangling
air
beneath
with
it.
How far?
Can I climb up the rope to attach myself to the ship itself?
That would be a feat of tremendous strength.
Damn it. I don't want to like have the rope fall. Or like snap and fell.
Yeah, I get that. Are you guys both attached?
I will double make sure I'm attached and not gonna fall if anything.
I suppose so.
Okay. He makes sure to tie both of your ropes to a main leading line, so it has additional strength. And then the airship starts to get moving. And you're hanging quite a bit further from the airship than you had in mind, and the wall is kind of somewhat coming up.
I climb.
Oh boy.
You manage to
Just
climb
climb.
up just enough so that your bottom like doesn't get scraped by anything. And you see like a guard kind of like near you, like 3 feet away, in the middle of eating a sausage, kind of just like goes, "Huh?"
I'm gonna wave at him.
And you know it's something crazy, Virtue? Your shadow touches his, and all of a sudden you see a mouth appear from the shadow and grab his sausage.
No!
Wait, what?
I don't.
Hey! Bring back my sausage! That was my dinner! Oh man.
You're gonna shrug at him.
Well, at least he got his meal.
Another guard passes the outer wall and he looks at you, points, and he gets like 3 other guys and they all start to laugh. They yell something and you only hear something along the lines of Jeb's got another one.
I'm just gonna flip him off.
They don't respond.
Of course they don't.
It's not very helpful.
I mean, good news. That means that a lot of them passed the wall. Now we just have to worry about the trip there and the trip back.
The
And
airship.
hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
if we don't suffocate, drown, burn, or die by any other means, that means we get to have blood on our hands when we get back.
So Fortune's head pops out of your shoulder and he says, "We're getting eaten."
Yeah, that's the main one I'm worried about. Going off that goat.
Oh, this looks cozy. Can I get up here? He starts to manifest on your shoulder, Morella. He's very heavy.
Love me if you do not make me fall.
Oh no, it's okay. Trust me. I'm just getting cozy. He's like his upper shoulders has started to noticeably strain the rope.
Soul, love you, bud, but you can't do this. Not now. Literally any other time but now.
Okay. He retreats back into his shadows.
I cling onto the rope a little bit tighter than before.
It is slightly frayed.
Won't you control your good boy?
My good boy. This isn't my dog.
You're right, it's our dog. But you are the first one who adopted him.
How did I adopt him?
He went to your shadow first.
I guess.
You know, I bet hanging from an airship was not on your bucket list, Virtue.
You know, it definitely was not.
So you guys are flying about, and you see what appears to be a tiny dot. It's like a caravan almost, like a small caravan. And then you see what appears to be some kind of dust storm gradually approaching it from a distance.
You've got to be kidding.
Out from the dust storm, a massive fin appears.
You know, better them than us.
And all of a sudden, it gets sucked in, as if engulfed.
It's a good thing we didn't try to go on foot.
I stare at Virtue. Just stares. Yeah.
But also, maybe we should have just waited for the next airship.
You hear an alarm bell sound as another fin appears behind the airship.
Oh boy.
You jinxed us. You jinxed us, Virtue. You jinxed us.
You hear an alarm come out. Raise the height! Raise the height! Go, go, go!
I'm gonna climb up.
And the engine
get as
starts to
close to the-
flare, and you go way faster and way more up. You can
I'll
see
be
a
like, "Hi."
vast desert. And then suddenly you see something behind you. As if the gust of a hurricane, it leaps and misses you by only a few feet.
Which one of us? Both?
Both.
I climb.
A mouth
what I'm
as
just gonna do.
large as an airship crashes back into the sand and dives beneath it.
I looked. You know, maybe the desert isn't my favorite place.
Yeah, getting pretty high on my list of least favorite places.
Suddenly the
Hey, this is
alarm.
top 10.
Suddenly the alarm stops, and you hear a call out. Juvenile stopped. Juvenile stopped.
Oh, they get bigger.
You sound like you're having so much fun.
Please tell me this isn't gonna be. How big is big?
Has anyone ever played Subnautica?
Yes.
I have not actually.
There are multiple Leviathan
God!
class light forms in the region. Are you sure whatever you're doing is worth it?
No. This is gonna be fun. Is this the Reaper Leviathan or is this the Ghost Leviathan?
It's okay. It's just a baby.
It's just a baby.
After about 10 to 15 minutes, something strange happens.
Oh god.
Give me 1 second.
You know,
Roll a
maybe
dice, which enemy?
we should have just tied the backpack to the rope and then got in the backpack.
You know, ironically, I've never had someone do that.
You know what?
In 14
if we
iterations
don't,
of this campaign, no one's ever done that.
I will do that just because I don't want to have the sun anymore. I'll climb up as close as I can, tie the backpack, climb in. Put your zone around.
A red puff appears next to your head, Virtue. Hey! Are you Virtue?
Who's asking?
It's a tiny little imp.
I
I'm
asked
liver
if
here
he's
for you.
asking.
Delivery. Uh-oh.
From who?
He didn't give his name.
What
It's
do
a
you look like?
wayfinder.
A wayfinder?
Yeah. It's a compass. Apparently, it'll lead you where you need to go. I don't know. He wasn't
That's useful,
specific.
I guess.
All right.
Thank you for the delivery.
Thank you. Now, please sign for the delivery. He
I
pops
will
out. He pops
haphazardly
out
sign.
a parchment.
I suppose that's only fair because he had to teleport to us in the middle of the desert.
I make sure that it really is just
Yeah,
confirm he's
it's
delivering.
just a delivery.
Okay, I'll sign it.
Okay, now this is a receipt. He hands you something. You have to sign this one too.
I
Is
look at
it
this one
just
too.
What, Virtue?
Make sure it is what he.
It is
Make
that
sure
one is
it is what he
not a
says.
receipt.
what is it?
That
No,
one
is it?
that one is in exchange for a head pat. He owns your soul.
Please don't sign that one.
I'm gonna start thinking, and I'm gonna start like scribbling parts of it out and putting other stuff in instead.
Wait. No,
And
no,
then
no,
I'll
no, no, no,
offer
no.
it back.
What did you put in?
I probably just changed around the names so that in exchange for a head pat, I take his soul.
Wait a minute. No. You sign it.
I don't actually sign it. I just hand it back to him.
Oh,
Ugh.
come on.
Okay. Well, that was a close one there. Maybe I
You
should
can
have. Maybe
have so many souls.
you know. Honestly, I should have put in alterations voided.
You really should have. I can't believe you didn't think of this.
Anyway,
It's
here you
okay.
go.
I am no use for a soul of an imp.
He hands you a brass compass that points in the direction you need to go. It is
Is it the
decorated.
direction we're going?
Yes, it's decorated in like waves of sand, like an ocean, and there are things swimming in it. You can almost see flecks of blood in the carved sand.
That ain't terrifying.
All right, I got more deliveries. All right, anyone here is named Good Boy?
Soul. Good boy.
Head pops
W.
up. Hey, what's up?
This is good, boy.
Alright, I have okay. Okay, it's a, toy. He pulls out a giant stuffed squeaky Pikachu.
Oh my god.
Here you go.
I didn't know branding existed in this universe. Man, I could sue Disney.
They're owned by Nintendo, but, you know. But, anyway, that's all I got. And, oh my god, what the flying fuck is... gets his head against a wooden part of the airship and he starts to fall.
Oh.
Another sandstorm appears. And you hear him muffled cursing, fuck, 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 fuck. And he gets
Bobby, get
eaten.
vacation time.
Shit!
I'm fine.
He starts running away. He starts running away at max speed from throwing little fire bolts. Get away! Get!
Hopefully he gets paid vacation time after this traumatic experience.
Y'all, the last thing you hear him scream is, "It's immune to fire!"
Unfortunate.
He's fine.
And approximately
He'll be
30
fine.
seconds later, the remains of its stuffed toy are scattered among the wind.
Well, that didn't last long. Who's a good boy?
Yeah. And after a few minutes, the compass starts to point east and slowly indicates you're very slowly passing by your destination.
Alright,
Oh boy.
let's hope it's time to let go. I get my knife.
I got you covered. The goblin cuts the knife. It cuts the rope.
I flip him off as we fall.
I thought you were dead. No,
That's
wait.
the
Where the fuck was the goblin at?
The goblin was on the
Goblin-
airship. What
I flip him off
what
as we
gave
fall.
you that was an imp.
I'm also gonna flip him off.
You hear Mission Impossible music.
Neat.
I can't play it because it's licensed.
I hum it. How about that? I hum the song to myself.
It's totally a performative difference. And
Yes.
so you get kind of close, and the you feel something happen on your finger, the ring. It pulses, and you start to slow, and then you go faster again.
Oh, wonderful. I duck and roll to avoid breaking my legs.
It would appear that Jeb cheaped out on the rings,
Oh boy.
and it stops and works about every 30 feet.
Oh boy.
How far away are we from the ground?
You fall. The last pulse happens 4 feet above the ground. You're lucky.
Thank goodness.
Sand. It's everywhere.
As you stand up, Soul Forger appears on your shoulder. Anywhere else?
I fall into the ground because how heavy he is.
He licks your ear.
Thank you, Soul.
He starts to whine. It's hot out here. He goes back in the shadow.
It sure is. Gonna look at the compass.
It's pointing east.
Well, let's go before we lose daylight.
Yeah, definitely before one of those shark things find us.
Do not jinx us. I will sacrifice you to them if you ever do that again. And it happens. You are the first one to go.
Oh boy. Alright, let's get moving.
You know, I sense some tension.
I wonder why.
I have a meme for you guys.
Send us. Send us the precious meme.
As soon as I find it, it's a particular meme. Damn it.
Virtue is
Here it is.
definitely making sure that her earring is still there that she made a rune out of.
Check out General.
Instead of Satan, we have Jeb. It wasn't a 1-for-1 where we get the better end of the situation. We just get a worse version. Twisted, humanized version of Satan.
Dean
It wasn't an even
Goldberg.
thing.
All right. Okay. So, you crest a hill and you see what appears to be a cavern.
I have a funny
Um,
feeling that is where we're gonna be.
it's a large rock formation that seems to jut out from the sand in an awkward and unnatural fashion. The stone looks dark red and bleached white from abrasive winds, as if rock themselves were hewn from giant bones. And if you didn't know any better, you would say it was in the shape of a giant skull.
It's ominous.
A god has died here and its bones lay waste to the desert. It's time for the old to die and sacrifice themselves to be forgotten.
You hear it again. Would you be God?
No! Fuck up, I was just being poetic. Come on. Time to become sacrifices.
Entering the cavern, you immediately gain a sense of unease, as if this place feels unnaturally still. The shadows seem darker than normal, and even the light from outside in the bright day seems to barely penetrate the eerily cool cabin entrance. Stepping further
Virtue's
inside,
definitely double checking the compass to make sure this is where they're going before she steps foot in there, by the way.
mhm. Stepping
Bella's
further
already halfway
inside,
down.
hold on, damn it. Stepping further inside, the air becomes more and more cold, like the cold embrace of death.
Oh, this feels like home.
There are some abrasions on a plaque on the wall, almost like writing. It's difficult to make out as the cuts blend in with the dry, caked sand. In a small slit, a tiny dagger lies buried in the stone, with unique engraving upon the hilt. Below the dagger lies a bowl, jutting out from the rock, with carved hands holding it like a sacred offering. And yes, it absolutely is the right location, unfortunately.
I want to study this.
Do I recognize this for like any kind of religion or something?
You could roll religion.
I will roll it. I've got proficiency even.
Can I study the inscription and the hole for the dagger?
Keep this close to
19.
Woo!
Okay. It is definitely of religious importance, but you don't recognize the religion. And that is concerning. Dead
Don't
gods
like
are in
that I
fact
don't know
still
this.
gods. Huh?
I don't like that I don't know this.
You don't know this. This religion.
No.
Would I know this religion?
Nope.
Okay. Can I study the engraving of the dagger and the bowl? See if
Yes.
it's like a blood sacrifice?
Written upon
What
the
would this be?
blade in common is veins make the door, for blood drops in the pond.
I will very cautiously give some of my blood.
Are you using it with the knife or with your own?
Does the old knife have rust on it?
Yeah. It's been fucking set out forever.
I will use my own knife that I just polished.
Nothing happens.
Damn it. I will reluct. You have healing hands, correct?
I already used it on the donkey. I can only do it
Do
once
you
per
ha-
day.
You hear a distant yeehaw, thank you. I'm kidding.
You know what? I have that cookie. You know what? I'll do it with the old knife. I'll risk
Wait,
it.
we do have the cookie.
We take 3 points of piercing damage.
Me. Okay.
You know, I like how there's supposed to be two barbarians in this party with big health pools, and both the ones with small health pools are stuck here doing
Yeah,
this.
isn't that great?
We don't need anger. We just need smallness.
I have something for you. It is more audio to listen to. And I will, of course, put the lore drop in there as well. Even
Thank God, my
before,
hearing's terrible.
yeah.
Thank you, God.
Okay. Let me know when you're both ready.
It's absolutely ready to be blown away.
Alright.
Keep this close to chest. Secrets forever bound. In metal you must inscribe that which is yet to be found. Veins make the door, thus blood is the key. The wicked one reigns, and the people cry out to be freed. Shadows can tempt and corrupt, even those most pure of heart, but the ones you must be of most wary slither now in the dark. One is already among you, quiet and deceiving. Its voice is like a black hand, feeding you lies quite convincing, until finally it calls out and beckons you aside. Come with me, it says, its voice sickle sweet. It is the worm in the apple. It is the fly in the meat. Careful, now wanderers. Can you hear it softly speak? It is omnipresent. Its promises like slick sleet. It calls out its succulent words, and you hear it alone below your feet. Blood may wash your hands clean, so that an acolyte may atone. For the life of an oracle, you may yet repair a shattered bone. Careful now, wanderers, you disciples of fate, and remember our warning. It was never going to end any other way.
Yeah. That appears all of a sudden as the blood gets sucked in the bowl and it goes into a sinister spiral, and the cracks that make it impossible to read are suddenly filled with blood. And then a part of the wall goes into the earth to reveal an entrance to an empty stairs. And blackness waits to swallow you.
Friendly.
I'm just
Awesome.
looking at the compass and looking at the open space.
I'm gonna wrap my hand just to make sure it doesn't bleed anymore. It doesn't need any more of my blood.
It doesn't. Your vision is mostly obscured, but it's definitely going. It's pointing down there, unfortunately.
I will immediately head down the stairs. No questions asked. Curiosity reigns.
I will carefully follow her.
It is
Let's go.
incredibly dark. It's very difficult to see.
I will cast light on the end of my quarterstaff.
The shadows around you seem to grow thicker, and it seems like a very little light is actually cascading forward. Standing next to your orb, you can almost see small black tendrils shaped like hands grasping at the edges of the light. And suddenly
It
you
really
hear
feel
it, a rasping of metal and on stone, and the entrance closes shut. And you hear a sinister voice echo from below. You'll never leave here alive.
joke's on you, I'm dead inside. How about you? Let's get going. Adventures to explore. You know what we should have done? We should have put the backpack outside so Belinda could be safe.
Through the
That.
You know,
gap,
something tells me that she's going to be kind of at home down here because this kind of reminds me of the backpack in some ways.
Insult her backpack. No insult her like that. So mean.
walking through the gap, you begin to descend deep down into the earth. Along the walls are shapes embedded into the surface, rough drawings of indistinct creatures. Whatever they are monstrous, as if from another age. As your party continues, you feel the dirt beneath it become more compact, and each step makes a hollow, crunching sound. After what seems like forever, your party arrives at a door made of stone. To the right of the door lies a skull, jutting out from a depression in the wall, slightly ajar and loose. Carved around the depression in the shape of a man's skeleton, missing his head.
You want to do this one? I sacrificed my blood.
You sure did.
Don't say it like that.
Describe it again for me.
Um, to the right of the door lies a skull, jutting out from a depression in the wall, slightly ajar and loose. Carved around the depression is the shape of a man's skeleton, missing his head.
My guy Willie just lost his head in all this chaos.
Does it look like I put the skull at the missing head on the skeleton?
Possibly.
Virtue does not look happy about it, but she's gonna do that.
It locks into place, and then the head tilts backwards, and the mouth opens wide to
She
reveal
also
it.
looks very ready to punch it if it tries to attack her.
And the wall slightly moves with the jaw into a black space, as if just enough to fit your hand.
Don't be scared. Come on. In and out.
I'm gonna stick my staff in there and try to feel around.
It pokes something. Whatever it is, it's pretty firmly lodged in there, and it's kind of hard. It's not sharp, as far as you can tell.
Now that I'm relatively sure that my hand's not gonna get like squished or anything, I will very gently reach in.
You feel what appears to be some kind of sharp rock, but like not like a knife, but just like rough.
What kind of shape is it?
It's in like kind of like a triangular shape. It has some kind of weird buzzing about it, as if energy is coursing through it.
Hmm. I guess I'll try. I assume it's not like movable.
It feels a little loose.
I'll try to move it.
You hear it tick. The ticking intensifies.
I definitely pull my hand out really quickly.
ticking stops.
That's not good.
I assume nothing else in the room changed.
Correct.
I'll reach back in again and move it again.
It lodges now in your hand. It's loose.
Can I pull it out?
You pull it out. It is a brilliant ruby gemstone, as red as blood.
I peer over Virtue's shoulder. That is a beautiful, perfect gem.
The energy seems to fade in it,
Oh,
and the door starts to slowly open.
I'm gonna try to sneakily take the gem to examine it. I want to see it. I want to see the pretty gem.
I'll let her take it.
Yay!
A faint, sinister laugh echoes from the darkness below. Sometimes doors are locked not to keep out intruders, but to keep
it.
something within.
Yeah, but we can't go back. We can only go forward. So fuck you, voice.
You hear a voice.
Against the discutary. Maybe you were wrong about the stereotypes. You don't know. This is a new age, new era. The age of stereotypical villains have died out, along with the gods. Let's get going.
As you proceed, each step seems to be a bit harder, as if the air itself makes your feet feel heavier. In a hissing whisper you hear, shadows crowd out the light, and your source of light extinguishes.
Well, that's not
Roll
supposed
call.
to happen.
Marco. Marco.
You feel something against your leg, Virtue.
Soul.
You feel many legs.
I'm gonna whack him with my staff.
Something scurries off into the distance, up
What the
Morella's
fuck
leg.
was that?
I stab whatever I feel.
You hear a as your stab pierces something's exoskeleton.
Love that.
You can almost
Time for
hear
dinner.
tiny screams. It is dark and impossible to see, and you feel the earth shift in the shadows. The earth racks through strong vibrations. You realize that something is moving far above you inside the sea of shifting sands atop the cavern. Something massive is swimming, and you hear a voice. Ah, marvelous, aren't they? The Maw's pets.
Can I tell where the voice is coming from?
Deep beneath the girth, echoing from below.
They are fascinating in how they're structured. It's amazing how they can adapt. How anything can adapt to the environment.
Would both of you like to roll me a perception check?
Absolutely. $17.
Nice. Both of you
Not with
see
my butt
something.
cheeks.
You see your breath and the dim air being pulled towards the wall. In the walls are both carved and embedded skulls. Some of the air you breathe is being sucked into the mouths of the skulls set into the walls. Even without eyes, you can tell the skulls are shaped by silent screams. The carvings of other shapes appear to be made from sharp bones, from fingers, not teeth. Yes, Come deeper. Descend into the depths.
I'm definitely gonna use my staff to like feel around the area and make sure there's no like other directions to go.
There is an unusual rectangular depression in the wall.
No. I'll follow Vulture, whatever she decides, since she's the one with the longer staff.
Poking like your staff into it, you notice there's something odd. Strands. It's spider
Oh my
webs.
god. Oh no. I'm going to immediately reach into my backpack and pull out my tinderbox.
The air
Fire with
becomes
fire.
colder.
I would be very careful.
The master doesn't like light, comes a voice from the wall.
Is that the only exit we have at the moment?
Yep.
I'm
Well,
gonna
it's more
very
like it's like chest high, and it's not really that tall.
okay.
So it's not really a way you can go. It's just like a hole in the wall.
Okay, I'm going to separate and try to feel around for another exit, just because I don't want to have that option.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my tinderbox in my hand, but I'm also gonna have my staff in my other hand, so I'm not currently using the tinderbox.
Okay. As you feel around, you feel something stick to your arm, Morella. Something stick to your hand. It's crawling on it.
I bat it off
It lands through a
immediately.
web, and you hear a sudden rush of movement and skittering noises as a spider starts to feed.
I back up.
Yes, feed.
I'll look for another way. And not that way. I'm
Which
gonna
is very heavily contemplating whether or not to risk lighting a fire to burn all this webbing.
I'm
No,
gonna
no, don't burn us, comes the voice. You feel something touch the edge of your mind, Virtue, like 8 legs skittering across the surface, the hairs pointed and sharp.
And why shouldn't I burn you?
Wonders of fate. It doesn't end any other way. I can
That
tell
doesn't say
you
why I shouldn't burn you.
things. Secrets. Secrets you aren't meant to know.
secret.
Would it do me
What
any good to know them?
secrets?
Okay, one at a time.
Would
Alright.
it do me any good to know them?
Yes. Always good, Virtue.
What secrets? What hidden layer of are you willing to expose? What core are you willing to shed light on? Or should
No
I say,
light! No light! We do not live in the light.
but you live in the darkness?
Yes, the darkness. We are all trapped with it.
What good comes from exposing these secrets?
Maybe you can change. We do not weave anymore. Only you.
What's below us?
It is the bone, and you hear a crunching sound, as if something being squeezed like pus, and
I
blood,
suppose.
dark and viscous, starts to drip from the hole.
Well, that's gross.
I suppose even secrets must be kept by something.
Now, 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 comes the voice. We can't be telling too much. Come closer. You won't be harmed. Come closer.
You don't sound very believable when you say that.
You don't need your light. Leave it aside. You'll be safe until you arrive.
Arrive
Any
where?
progress, sir?
Why, to the island, of course.
Island.
Come, come. You'll be safe.
Don't really have much choice.
Have no fear.
Oh, me too.
I would never harm the disciples of faith.
Hearing that, I immediately give a quick glance at Voju and then follow the voice.
Yes.
Virtue looks like she is re-examining her entire life decisions as she follows.
Roll
Let's
perception.
go!
Alright. 12.
22.
Okay, Jesus. The dirt beneath your feet is actually bone meal. You are standing on
Absolutely.
sorry, hiccups. Your feet are crunching ground up bones.
Voju? Dia, please don't look down. Or have any light. You won't like what's beneath us.
What's beneath us?
Soil.
You see,
Compost.
the maw gets their souls. His pets get their flesh. And their bones, well, it comes to me eventually.
Gets whose?
Those who die in the sands. Those who are eaten by its pets.
Ah, like that goat.
Yeah, sure. No.
Come forth, my sacrificial lamb.
You're what now?
That's a weird title.
It starts to hum. Down, down into the dark. Shadows listen so stark. For the world is lost in a bead, where the shadows begin to feed.
Continue following. Continue going down.
Virtue is definitely not pleased about it, but she is also following.
After several more minutes of descending, the air feels almost oppressively cold and thin,
as if no matter what you do, it is difficult to get enough air. Both of you roll me a constitution save.
Anyway.
Just want to eat my cookie.
DC 10.
12.
Let's see, you said con, right?
Yep, DC 10.
19.
Let's go.
Excellent. If you failed, you would have gotten a level of exhaustion.
Oh boy.
Sleepy time.
After several more almost hours, it feels like, of descending, the stones become more difficult to see and traverse with each step, and you come to what appears to be a massive underground cavern. Beyond you, there appears to be a shore of dark earth. Beyond it is a lake or a river, you can't quite tell, of dark water that is forever still.
I wonder how long this been here.
There is a dock with a silver bell on it. Both of you roll me perception.
20, not natural.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
I have a +7 of perception.
14.
So, you see what appears to be a buried skeleton just slightly out of the surface. It's clutching something in its hand.
Oh my god, he's gonna death for me. I want to very gingerly poke the skeleton to see what's in its hand.
A small brown bag, almost moth-eaten.
I very carefully take it, and I'm gonna apologies for disturbing you, but I believe the living may have more use in this than you do in the afterlife.
Inside are two very heavy silver coins.
I take the coins and put the bag back inside the skeleton's hand, and I ding the bell.
The skeleton clutches the bag.
I'll hand one of the coins to Virtue. Here, this might be useful.
Richie gently takes it.
You don't recognize it. Its minting is very strange. In fact, as was explained to you, this world doesn't even use silver as as like currency.
Hmm.
Must be from an age long ago. Or some type of metal akin to silver. I'll ring the
Maybe
bell
it's
again.
more ritualistic.
Perhaps. Maybe platinum. Or zinc.
After she rang the bell, could we hear anything?
You rang the bell? I didn't hear that.
Ding!
Okay. It echoes across the still waves, and mist starts to rise. And in the distance, you can see a wooden ship, like a long ship, like a raft, slowly containing the distance, slowly closing in. It's being driven by a cloaked figure with a long paddle.
I'm not. I'll wait for the boat to dock. Kind of fiddling with the coin in my hand.
Richie is watching that figure very, very closely.
It's wrong. Don't trust the guy with the boat.
It is docked.
Down here? Absolutely not.
He's just a man with a paying job.
Does he do anything after the ship docks? The
He
boat
holds
docks?
out a hand, cloaked.
I carefully press the coin into his hand. Your turn, Virtue.
I pass him the coin.
He closes it and then lets you on the dock. Lets you from the dock on the ship. You can barely make out the boat in the gloom. There are dozens of mesh skulls making a kind of macabre figurehead. It flows smoothly forward, but not as if it is floating on the water, but as if the water itself is moving around the boat. He takes the silver and puts his hand back into his robe, and you begin to slowly paddle you back down the Black River. Looking on from above, you can begin to notice strange patterns in the water, movement surrounding you, like fish, but heavier and slower.
Almost peaceful here. Devoid of anything, but it's almost tranquil.
The voice cackles around the dark cavern again. I have pets too.
Do you treat them well?
They don't feed as often as they would like. As you continue down the river, you begin to see that there are lights in the water, wisps of green and blue flowing like the scales of some amphibian beast, but in the size of a person. They seemingly go against and around the current, but rarely come close to the surface. Eventually, the globes of light begin to rise in the distance, moving ever so slowly, as if fishing for your attention. It takes over an hour of rowing to slowly reach your destination. Along the walls, you see what appears to be carved buildings jutting out from it, but lopsided, as if it's a buried civilization. The light from above comes from crystalline structures, glinting like stolen stars, all in the cavern, everywhere. Millions and millions of them.
They must once be beautiful. A
Another
shame.
dark and lonely, juts out above the water on what appears to be an island made from a mass of bones. The dock lands with the ship next to it. The figure gestures for you to depart.
Thank you. I step off the boat.
Virtue looks very displeased about it, but she also does.
Say thank you to the kind boatman.
He disappears into the
Doesn't say
figure of mist
anything.
again.
He has a job. Besides, he could have let us swim.
Well, I'm more worried about the fact that they promised our safety until the island, and now we're on an island.
I mean, fair enough, but
On the center of the mass of bones, you find a black stone altar. almost a desk. Behind the altar is a black throne. Upon it lies the shape of a large skeletal man in a tattered black robe, wearing a golden crown centered upon a red jewel. Near his left side is a large two-handed ancient-looking sword, the blade tip buried in the dust of dirt and charred bones. His white, pale skull is resting upon an elbow. Next to him, resting upon a table, are several bars of gold, a small silver goblet filled with trinkets, and a placemat and playing cards. Around the island are other small tables where skeletons in various robes and finery are also playing games of chance. Using dice or cards, it seems that random bright trinkets, junk really, seem to be of the most value, whereas gold is undervalued, maybe even borderline worthless. For in the bones there are masses of bars of gold and gems. Some skeletons even appear to be dressed as nobles, others as adventurers or even commoners. One thing they all have in common is that they are lounging. In the back is a large wooden panel like a bar. Above it are various glasses of different style and makes, almost like from a different era. Unfortunately, none of the glasses present seem to be dust-free. Next to the bar is a large wooden board with age-old notes nailed to it. Some seem to be written in an eerily familiar handwriting.
Do we recognize the handwriting?
You do not, but it seems like it's from somewhere else.
What does
As
it
you
say?
walk and explore, though, a small quake occurs, as if the bones that the island is made of were beginning to take an unusual shape. Something moves beneath your foot, Virtue. It is a bone wiggling and trying to get free.
I'm gonna just stand still on it and look down at it.
You're just gonna what?
Stand still and look down at it.
It's trying to get out from under your foot.
I'm leaving my foot there while I look at it.
I will gently kick up Vochi's foot to free the bone.
It flies off into the distance, and suddenly all the bones in a storm form together into the shape of a hulking humanoid figure. The bone that was under your foot connects to him as a joint on his hand. The hulking figure, made from hundreds of disfigured bones, looks towards the skeleton sitting on the throne. He moves as if an undulating shadow and looks at you from behind the throne he leans on. Ah, my oldest house guest. The king sat upon a throne, but now only sits upon a kingdom of bones, whose soul is gone, his flesh picked clean, but his body remains where he was once redeemed. Play a game with me. Perhaps you too shall be set free. More bones begin to rattle around and take the shape of a form of a rough table in front of you, including a chair. And it says, "Take a seat."
Oh, thank you.
What happens if
We
we don't?
What?
What happens if we don't? She's gonna ask that.
Well, how long can a human live down here, I wonder? Not very.
Is that all you called us down for? A game. A game we didn't even know we would be invited to. Or rather, forced to.
Perhaps. Of course, you were never easy to convince. Always curious. So, I'll tell you what. Morella is your name this time. I'll tell you what. If you look me in the eyes and ask a single question, I shall endeavor to answer it. If you win.
And if I don't?
Well, there are worse things.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna refill my water real quick.
We just came to deliver an item, Jeb said.
Oh, I know. That serves as your ante.
What game are you suggesting we play?
Oh, simply a game of cards. Should the
No.
cards go in your favor? Well, I'm sure there are some things you could use. Should they not? Well, don't worry about it.
No tricks, no cheating, no deception, no lies.
Me lie. We probably should wait for Virtue to get back, by the way.
Okay.
It's okay, I could hear everything.
Okay, cool.
And I'm back.
Why, I have never lied ever since I died.
I suppose some see it like that as well, but fine. I'll play. One game.
He pulls
Is
out from
that
his shadowed robe a small deck of unusual cards. As you sit down, he leans in close and whispers, 3. His boned hand draws 3 cards and lays them face down. Pick one.
can I roll for perception to see if I can find a card that won't screw me over?
Roll it.
Woo! 14.
They're playing cards. The back of the back of them are all identical.
Okay, neat. I'd like to vote you. Got any hints for me? Got any clues?
I just shrug.
God damn it. You know what? Let's
Games aren't
do.
my forte.
Do I have any particular sense about cards, or are they all really just the same? Hmm.
They're all they appear the same. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They're cards. Pick one.
God damn it. Ah,
Left, middle,
what?
or right?
Middle.
Ah, you flip over the card. It reveals a massive tower suspended in a field of stars and infinite blackness. If you look closer at the card, windows and doors seem to vanish and reappear at random, and the stars twinkle as if looking to the heavens. The tower, you have come far once more. Another, he gestures.
Left.
You flip over the card. It reveals an image of a field of stars with 5 streaks of light. The lights seem to illuminate the room ever so slightly, and within the streaks of light falling to earth you can see faint visages of humanoid shapes. Where there once were 5, 4 there shall be. Now, the final card.
Right.
You flip over the card. It reveals an image of an unusual figure. Intimidating, even its image seems to project an aura of force. It has a light behind it, hiding the face of he who would judge you. In each hand lies the bed of a scale, on one a golden feather, flecked with blue sparks. On the other, a heart that pulses in rhythm with your chest, and fluctuates from light to dark. You have yet to meet the hand of he who will judge you.
What do these mean in this game that you're playing?
Oh, well, you haven't lost.
I haven't won.
No, you never do. Now, come closer. Let me see those pretty teeth.
I lean back away, hiding my teeth from this dentist.
He looks at Virtue. Can I see your pretty teeth?
Why?
Why not?
He's a tooth fairy.
And there might be surprising.
I played your game. Now what?
Do you have the vial?
I look to vote you.
I pull out the vial.
He grabs it from you and unstoppers it. And now he looks at you both and says, breathe like you mean it.
Okay.
He's going to cyanide him while she does nothing different about her breathing.
The moment you
I just-
exhale, he twists his finger and you feel your breath being drawn from you. You are suddenly out of breath as he spins it into the vial. He stoppers it and says, ah, breath of the living. Refreshing.
I stare. You okay, Virtue?
A deal is a deal is a deal.
Does that mean we can leave now?
Let us start negotiations for your release.
Rella is still probably looking at those 3 cards, just kind of examining them, lost in thought, before she looks up. Of course, negotiations. Never really a yes or no, is there? I mean,
Give me 1 second. I'm doing you guys a favor, and I'm gonna put the cards you got from him in the lore dumps. Lore dumps.
Oh boy.
Okay. And what were you saying?
just watching the cards and looking up at them, saying, "There's never really was just going to be a release without a price."
No one
Negotiation.
leaves alive from my domain. Now, do you want to begin negotiations, or would you like to prematurely become a shriveled up corpse?
Negotiations.
That's what I would have chosen. Now, I have a question to pose to you. Answer it satisfactorily, and you are free to go. Oh, and take this miserable excuse of an undead with you. He's living on borrowed bones anyway. He gestures towards half a skeleton that is currently trying to dig itself out of a pile of bones with a foot.
We have
Why
to.
does he need to come with us?
I don't care what you do with him, just remove him from my domain. The skeleton looks at this and says, "Aw, boss, I only did the one fuck up." He looks to you guys pleadingly, and he's like, look, y'all are more understanding masters, right?
You have any use?
Absolutely. I can cook, I can clean, I can
I'm
cook.
gonna pick him up by the skull and
Oh.
drop him in the backpack.
Hey, what?
His body is currently looking around for his head. You hear him
Shove
muffle
him
from
into
the backpack.
backpack.
I'm in here, you idiot!
I'll pick him up
That's
by the
nice.
backbone and stick the rest of him in there.
Just shove the skeleton slowly, piece by piece, bit by bit, into the backpack.
You hear a bunch of excited barking as you hear muffled curses.
Ah, looked like it got acquainted.
No, not a dog, not a dog! As the bag closes.
You just introduced him to a living hell. Congratulations, Watcher.
More like unliving. But
Ta-da-ch. Looks around for invisible drum top.
I don't think there are very many deities that are friendly to undead, so I'm okay with torturing him.
Oh Jesus Christ!
That was not what I was expecting you to say.
I tell you what, both of you may roll me a history to represent if you would decided you would have taken a little bit of time to learn what the fuck is going around the city that you guys are in. I'll give you some background information about the city if you do that. If you get a good enough roll.
Oh my god, I rolled dog shit. I rolled a 5. Technically, I rolled a 2, but I had a +3.
Let's
What-
go!
What did you get?
5.
18!
Yo, great. Give me 1 second.
I love history. Why else would my character be good at it?
I have proficiency in it, but I rolled a freaking 2 on the dice.
I just have a +3 in history.
That's
I
a
rolled a
-2.
15. Yo, let's go!
You got an unnatural 0? Is that what I just fucking heard?
No, it's a 5.
Okay, got you. I thought you had a
I've got a
-2.
+3 to it.
Oh,
To
you have a.
history, I've got a +3.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Makes sense. Because you did the
I got a +1 to my intelligence. It's my charisma that's down one.
Ironically, in a mostly social game. Depending on what you guys choose, of course.
Be a hermit
I'm
crab.
sure it'll be
So, the city of
fine.
Osriel is kind of like a pariah city. It is incredibly wealthy because of the trades that it does. However, as a city, it is the only city on the continent that allows slavery.
Wonderful.
And they also raise the undead to live to be servants of the nobles.
Seems fair enough.
So in the noble quarters, you can find undead stewards, undead carriages, things like that. And an undead that doesn't have to be maintained magically is, let's just say, fairly valuable. So, I mean, depends on the ethics of the matter, but you could, I don't know, sell them.
Not gonna lie, when you first said you get to have him, I was like, we could sell this guy. We
Oh
could
my
sell him and get
god.
rid of him.
It's gonna be an evil campaign, and the two bastards aren't even in here. You know what would be really funny?
What?
Is if I somehow managed to run a session with the other two, and then they're going in the same area on the opposite end, and that's who your characters meet. They both somehow mutually get fucked over by Jeb, and like different circumstances.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That would
That's
check
what I
out.
originally thought. That's how we're gonna introduce our characters. That we both run into each other by complete coincidence, only because we all ran into Jeb.
Although I will say this, he hands you 2 cards as your prize.
Yay! Hooray! I get 2 cards. Is
Mhm.
it the same? Is it 2 of the cards or 2 new cards?
2 new cards.
Oh. I flip them over both. I want to see them. Very carefully, though.
One has a question mark. The other
Wonderful.
is the card is simply named Zane.
Quick question.
Yes.
What? Sorry, what? Explain, please?
It has the art of a bugbear on it.
Damn.
That's right.
Well.
You could have gotten stuck into a card.
Oh, okay.
Your winning was you living. Woohoo!
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
balloons. Balloons.
The bones pop the balloons. Okay, that echo has stopped. Got to stop. Okay. So yeah, that's the background of Osriel. I'll give you guys some more information later about it, but suffice to say, it's got some crazy shit going on. In fact, a new sultan recently took power by force. As of a
That's
few
not
years
good.
ago, he walked up to the palace, killed everyone, killed the king, and took the throne.
Hmm.
Go him.
By himself.
King.
Not sound like someone I want to mess with. Yet.
Yes.
Lily's like,
Full on first
Lily's
fight.
like in the corner, like, let me get some levels first, motherfucker.
I'll wrestle him.
That's my favorite add-on to any sentence. Just yet.
Gotta grind.
Hold on. I have a gift to send you guys.
What? Yay.
Damn, I need to find it. Okay, it's not cooperating with me. I'll send it to you guys later. But yeah. So the question: no matter how powerful or great you believe to be your destiny, all stories end up the same way eventually. The ending is already pre-written. He waves his hand, and a purple illusory miasma reveals a depiction of a band of heroes, steadfast and legendary in resolve. You will die. I have foreseen it. Even the elves do not live forever. Even the light that is touched by the gods dims eventually. The image is filled with a flash of white and red, and one by one the shapes of great heroes collapse and keel over, dead, their flesh cold and spotted orange. Everyone who has ever known you will die. Everyone who has ever heard your name will die. In the visage, you see people start to keel over and begin to pile bodies into carts. Your memory will fade. Statues built in your honor will crumble unto dust, crushed like your bones into the wind. An image of a large ceremonial statue lies broken, and within the image the quarried stone begins to wear down under the sands of time, shattered and forgotten. Just another lost monument in the desert. So I ask you, would-be heroes, are you ready to die? Would you drink from that cup? At last the image settles upon a desert plain, a wasteland of misery and emptiness, the only remarkable features being the tops of a familiar tower sticking out from beneath the sand, the tallest tower of Osriel. What price is worth a doomed destiny? What price would you pay to escape your fate? What price would you pay to ease the suffering of others?
Well, death is inevitable. The only question is when. And I would rather that not be quite yet.
Technically, I'm supposed to live to 700. I'd rather live that life as much as I can. Till I go back to the plane.
And so he asks again, would you drink from that cup?
What's in the cup? Is my question.
He sends you an image of a golden chalice made of skulls.
pretty much just allude that the cup is going to kill us if we drink from it?
Possibly.
Bet on the dice. We'll go to the bathroom real quick.
So, what is your answer? Would you drink from the cup?
Describe this cup to me again.
It is the cup of suffering.
No, I would not.
He looks to Morella.
Bathroom.
He looks at his watch patiently. Explain your answer. He looks at you, Virtue.
Why would I want to drink from a cup of suffering?
Not A. B.
Okay, why would I want to drink from the cup of suffering?
Why? To alleviate the suffering of everyone else, of course.
Suffering is how you know you're alive.
Ah, interesting. He looks at you, floating in the air, and meets your eyes, and he says, "You are truly a selfish one."
Good to
Selfish.
see it that way.
He points at Virtue and says, "Selfish." He points at Morella and waits for your answer.
To live is to live, no matter the answer. Why drink a cup of poison when you know that everyone else is gonna die of dehydration? I won't drink the cup.
He
Not yet.
nods. Ah, two of you. Well, I don't think that's been tried yet. Very well. I accept your answer. He asks a question. So, would you weave an age lace if you had the chance?
Say that again?
Every what?
Would you weave an age lace if you had the chance?
I once again did not comprehend what we were leaving.
An age lace.
My brain is not interpreting this for some reason.
He creates an image as if the entire world is but a bundle of threads. He has temporarily altered your perception, and now you see golden threads rising to the air from you, Morella, and the two cards. You see yourself as if you were nothing but a puppet on a string. You blink, and it's gone.
How fitting.
He waves his cape high into the air, and it seems to grow. It is both filled with and made of darkness, with pieces of piercing light within like the stars of a dying and decaying universe. Despite its terrible nature, it is truly a thing of awestruck beauty. With a bony finger he lifts it to his cloak, and a small white flame, flickering and hot as lightning, he begins to cut a sizable hole in the fabric until it breaks loose. In an instant the cloak reforms as it was, but a sizable chunk of cloth falls into his hand, and he holds it there. Righteous heroes or bumbling fools? I suppose this time we shall see how it turns out. A deal is a deal is a deal. I have a little bit of fate left for you, a gift for services not yet rendered, a present for the ageless. He steps up from his black throne in the air, and reaches out towards the center of the room, and a portal of darkness opens in a shattering scream, as if wounding the very world itself. Darkness oozes and pulses from the portal, as if bleeding to the pumping of an unnatural heart. He reaches within, an empty void so dark it defies conventional description, to pull out an ashen wood and hourglass, filled with beads of dark sand. You have until this hourglass empties, for the world to begin again. The hourglass spins slightly, an eerie wood and blue and golden thread. The sands within appear unnaturally suspended, as if moving from a different time. The beauty and deadly grace of the hourglass hints that it was crafted by a race cursed to never appreciate its intricate beauty, only its sinister power. In a ritualistic chant, the figure speaks. Once, twice, thrice. When the time is nigh, should you wish to pay the price, you may travel through the needle's eye to undo space and even time. Gifts to rewrite destiny are hard to find, and so are the souls who come entwined. I will, of course, be putting that in Lore Drops. The hourglass settles in front of you. It seems cool and delicate. He proffers it to your party.
I will very gently pick it up.
He wraps it in dark cloth hewn from shadows of stars. It is time you left. Trouble me no more, thieves of dreams. Trouble me no more, wandering folk. Trouble me no more, future disciples. Leave this place, wanderers of fate. The earth seems to shake as he begins to melt into a sea of bones once more, his face dissolving into piles. In echoing laughter he says, "We'll be seeing each other again very soon."
That sounds promising.
Berkeley starts looking to see if like any way to leave has opened.
There is still a golden thread going from beneath the ground into the sky, almost ready for plucking.
I will. I'm very tempted to pluck it. Very tempted.
What could
I
possibly
wonder
go
what would
wrong?
happen. What possibly could? Mm,
It's not like there's anything else noteworthy.
I'll pluck it.
I mean, there is a bar and a bunch of people around you, but yeah,
You know, that's fair. Are they moving? Are they talking?
they're talking among each other. There's a barkeep who largely looks bored.
Nice to know that.
Are they all just like undead or?
They're all skeletons.
Okay.
Couple ghosts.
Since nothing else really extraordinary is gonna happen, I'll pluck the golden gun, see if anything happens.
It expands into a bright portal through which light sheens.
Look, a portal. Ready to
You
go,
know what?
Butch?
Anything's better than this. Virtue steps through the portal.
You walk
I'll
through,
take one.
and the light from the portal suddenly seems to be as if it's just a sun beating down upon you as you wake up. You feel cold and parched, yet dry. Your skin feels like it's been burned repeatedly. There is a man above you, as if trying to loot your corpse. As your eyes open,
I'll punch him.
it almost feels like everything you went through was a dream, except for the suspicious hourglass that is in your pocket. It is the only proof that what you went through was real.
I'm definitely gonna smack the dude trying to loot my body.
Ah! You're alive! How are you alive?
What do you mean, how?
Ah. So. Got it then. Looks kind of dirty and looks around. And he kind of like fingers a hand crossbow and says, You, both alone out here?
Why do you ask?
Oh, no, no particular reason.
That doesn't sound very comforting.
I don't know. He pulls out a hand crossbow. Give me everything you got.
I'll take the crossbow from him.
Ah, ah, ah. I'll shoot you. You come near me.
So why do you think that this is a good idea?
Have you met me? I'm desperate. I look
Nothing
like I have
desperate.
everything together.
Do we look like the easiest targets that you've ever seen?
I mean, easiest in a while. And you should have seen the other guy I tried to rob. He was this huge guy, big bugbear, really angry, big anger problem. I let him just walk on right by.
Do I still have the cards with me?
You do.
Okay.
Now, hold on. What is that smell? Ugh, you reek. Smell like wet dog.
Oh, Soul,
I wonder
come here, good
why.
boy.
A massive dog appears behind you, and he starts like, uh, you have a, that's a, he looks up. He's about like 4.5 feet tall. He says, that's a big boy there. That's,
Yeah.
that's your dog.
Yes, yes, he is.
Uh, yeah. He,
Virtue's just staring down at this guy. She's 6'2". She is so much taller than he is.
is he friendly?
Oh,
Sometimes.
Soul.
Like, Soul looks in close to you and squints. Nice. Or mean.
Your choice, buddy.
He stalks forward the little man. The guy's like, "Oh shit." Hold on. He pulls out something like a little book. He's like, "Okay. Okay. Shadow Hound." He looks up. That looks like him, and he starts reading some stuff. Immune to normal weapons. He looks at his crossbow. Shit.
And then
Oh, that's
suddenly, Sword Forger's mouth elongates like the size of a tire, and he eats him.
interesting. Well, that solves our problem.
Did he have anything on him?
Not anymore.
Sword Forger's stomach starts to rumble. Oh, metal, mistress.
I mean,
Well,
if
he
it
had
doesn't
metal
feel
on him.
good to eat it, you should probably just burp it back out.
He burps out the crying man. I'm sorry!
Failure.
I'm sorry! He is like so terrified. There's darkness everywhere. I don't want to die. He starts rocking back and forth.
So now you're gonna give us everything you have, right?
Yeah. Can I keep my shoes?
Sure. We need them in the hot sand at least.
Uh, uh. He hands you 3 gold pieces.
Really more desperate.
I'll let Mariella take it.
So
Virtue
fortune.
was saying it just because she was trying to be ironic to him. She didn't actually care about taking his stuff.
Soul Forger is like smelling him, and he says, "Eh, you isn't bathed."
So where are we?
You are outside in the middle of the fucking desert.
I'm
I guess
asking the
we
short
just
man
need a
that.
ride.
Uh, the terrified man will tell you that he has no idea where he is. He simply caught a couple people who were walking on foot and decided to try to rob them because he was stranded and desperate.
I suppose our biggest question now is to get back to that city.
I'm gonna look at the compass.
It's spinning.
Hmm. That's not very helpful.
What direction is the sun sinking right now? Is it like rising? Because maybe we can use that to find the city.
You would know that part of the issue of navigation, the reason you need a wayfinder, is because things in the desert move around.
So
Yeah, the
even the
problem is
city.
that we don't know where we are in relation to the city.
So, Vojo, do you think you can find the city for us?
Ugh. Sausages.
Do we have any sausages on us? There are probably some in the city.
There would be some in the city.
Mm. Oh, I can't drive, mistress. I don't have paws. I only have paws.
Why would you need to drive?
He points to what appears to be a huge crow's nest popping out of the sand.
Huh. I'll go and look at it.
It is a buried ship, probably buried within about 40 to 50 feet.
Damn, that's a big ship.
Does the crow's nest look sturdy?
Somewhat.
How high up does it go?
It's only about 5 to 6 feet above the ground. So that means that the
Hmm,
ship is buried about like 40 to 50 feet.
That's a...
that is unfortunate.
Hmm. Any high ground will do, so long as we can just try to glimpse it, even in distance.
I mean, for how far out of the ground that is, you'd have better luck just standing on my shoulders.
That is true. You are taller than it. If Vochu is willing, I'll climb up her shoulders to see.
As long as the dog supports her, because she is not especially strong.
The dog looks at you like, what the fuck, bro?
It's fine.
The dog starts smelling the wood.
I mean, do we have any other ideas to find the city? Otherwise, we're gonna have to walk in a random direction in hopes to take us there.
Yeah. Which doesn't exactly sound like a great idea in the desert, but also we don't really have any other. Hey, little man, where did the bugbear go?
In the cavern. I don't know where it went.
I suddenly show Vochu the one of the terracons, the one that has the bugbear on it.
Did the bugbear look like this?
Oh, I didn't know he was famous.
Ah, famous, yeah,
Hmm.
definitely.
Are there any like runes on the card?
It is clearly magical.
I'm thinking he lost a game.
Can we ascertain if there's some way to use the card?
Possibly.
Maybe not now, when we still have a way to try to find the way back.
So, you guys see in the distance the bottom of an airship floating through a cloud.
Think of the devil and he shall come.
Which direction is it going?
Towards you. Past you, I should say, anyway.
Is there any way we can try to grab its attention?
Suddenly there are red sparks that fly everywhere.
I suppose that'll do.
And you see them throw something overboard. A barrel.
I will avoid its trajectory. I don't want it to be, and I don't want to go near it.
It's a few hundred
Definitely
feet from
watching
you.
it.
Hey, let's avoid that one.
Did it hit the ground?
The barrel did in fact hit the ground.
Did it break open?
It did not.
Very sturdy.
Hmm.
Even from this distance, you can hear muffled curses.
You must be cursing loudly if we can hear him.
Virtue will head towards the barrel.
Oh, what you? What happened? What you? What about stranger danger?
They might know how to get out of the desert.
They were just thrown from an airship.
I mean, we fell off an airship too.
He's not
Different.
wrong.
We were dropped. He was thrown. He must have got caught sneaking onto an airship, and they threw him off. Well, we got cut off.
I'm sure it'll probably be fine.
If you get stabbed, it's
Worst
not my
comes
fault.
to worst, I've got my rune as a backup.
Just whack him.
You see something slightly blot out the sun in the distance. It appears that
And I-
some kind of bird or bat is floating around you, flying in circles.
It's hunting.
I'm going to get closer to the barrel.
I'm gonna keep an eye on that bone.
It is a barrel full of pickles, or at least based on the writing.
Yep, definitely not strange about
Hello?
this.
Hmm?
We're just gonna call out hello.
Let me out! I knew you
Only
wouldn't
'cause I'm
really throw me overboard. You guys were joking.
Oh no, they definitely threw you overboard.
Oh, that explains the weird falling sensation that I had.
Yeah, why'd you get thrown overboard?
Oh, something about a blight on reality. I don't know. I think it's just a colorful way of calling me a jerk. But I didn't do anything. I
you do
say the
anything?
captain's hat was better as a frog anyway.
Does that mean that you do magic?
Maybe. Who's asking?
Someone lost in the desert.
Oh. He pops his head out of the barrel. That means I'm lost too.
It does, yes.
Shit. Olivia! Olivia! Useless cat. You ever feel like cats just don't respect you?
Must be only you.
Yeah, I suppose. He gets out of the barrel. It is a gnome. He's in a blue robe with a blue hat. It's kind of pointy.
Hmm. So would you know any way to unlost ourselves from this desert?
Mm,
Unless
I do have a lost and found coupon.
I don't think
Would
that would
that make
help.
us be found?
Yeah. See, I already. Well, look. You know how I got this situation? I accidentally used the lost portion of the coupon.
I see.
Yeah.
So what happens if you use the found portion?
I don't know. There was a bunch of fine print with it. I kind of didn't read it.
It's like the kind of thing you might want to read.
No. Trust me, it's just, I'm a doctor.
Oh yeah?
No.
Then why'd you say that?
He bends his knuckles and then reaches down. You know the Lost Atlantis movie, right, from years ago, where the dude has a creepy amount of flexibility.
Yes.
He's doing that right now.
Oh.
Huh.
Good movie. Why?
All right. Well, I will be seeing you.
Grab him by the scuff. Make sure he doesn't leave.
Wait, no. He holds up a stick. Watch out for my wand of frog smiting.
Frog smiting, huh?
Yes, it smites frogs.
Only frogs?
Well, actually, I didn't read the fine print. I'm sure it smites other things too.
Are you sure about that?
Probably just frogs.
No, I'm not. And shut up. I can turn you into a frog too. I think.
You
You
think?
think?
I might have. He opens a spell book. I think I. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. I don't have any frog spells left today.
How many did you use?
I don't know. He counts like up to 10 and then keeps counting. A few.
A few.
Look, I'm just saying, if they didn't want to be frogs, why were they wearing hats?
Because it's a fashion trend.
No, no, it can't be.
I mean,
You're
you're
wearing a
wearing a
hat.
hat. Does that mean that you want to be a frog?
Well, my hat's blue, so
Have did anyone else wear a blue hat?
oh, they were all green hats. That's how I knew they wanted to be frogs.
Ah,
Hmm.
so since your hat is blue, you want to be what, a fish?
No, no,
Well,
no, no, no. A bird. Unfortunately, I can't turn into a bird.
you want to be a
Apparently,
bird.
really needed to hug trees for a while in order to do that.
I
Who
don't
knew?
think that's how that works.
That's exactly how
I
that
think
works.
he has a point.
People who hug trees can turn into birds. I studied this. Ironically,
Well,
studying it academically is what resulted in me not being able to do that. It's complicated.
mm. Well, is there any way you can help us get out of the desert and back into the city?
Oh, which city?
Any city.
Any city.
In the desert. We're going back to the city desert.
Any city. In the desert. Well, I suppose there is an option.
I guess would you please tell us that option?
Well, how do you feel about tight spaces?
Why do you ask?
I don't know. Politeness.
How
Tell
tight
me
are
your
we
face.
talking
What
about?
do you have in mind that involves a tight space?
He pulls out a bottle.
I feel as if that would be very morally wrong.
See? It's a city. It even has a desert in it, I think.
An
Yeah,
actual
that's not
city.
quite what we're looking for.
Ah. He throws the bottle away. It breaks.
Neat. Any other options?
He pats around and he starts to say, well, I could always just scratch off the fat. And all of a sudden, the bat creature dives for him.
I jump back to avoid it.
I'm going to attempt being quite the word, uh, to use command on it to tell it to halt.
It stops midair, puts its wings away, sits, and looks at you, almost condescendingly.
Wonderful.
It looks at you and says, "What did you just say?"
I said wonderful.
At
You
Virtue.
know, I did not expect you to talk for some reason, even though everything else seems to be talking.
It is a cat with wings, a tressum.
Beautiful.
It is black.
Oh, absolutely
Ah,
stunning.
you must be that cat that this man was missing. Sorry for stopping you.
Yes. The cat looks at the gnome, stretches, and banishes it.
Neat.
So, would you happen to know how to get out of this desert?
Nope. It disappears. And then floating where the gnome was, a ticket of lost and found, with lost already scratched out, starts to slowly fall to the surface.
We're just gonna grab it. And she's gonna look for the fine print.
Basically, it has about a 300-page fine print, an incredibly fine print that elaborately states safety not guaranteed.
I mean, you don't need to be found.
I mean, it's either this or we walk you the direction that the airship was going towards or away from.
I suppose. Well, I don't know. Maybe we should go from where the path it was
The
coming
ticket
from.
burns in your fingers.
You know, we might want to use this quickly.
It burns to
Let's use it.
dust.
Oh no!
You feel a light breeze on the wind, as if cool and hydrating.
Oh,
And above you, you hear a man yell, "Hey, you need a ride?
yes.
I look up.
Lost and Found Corporation. Do mostly the finding these days. No one ever wants to get lost.
Except for that gnome that just did.
Oh, he's my best customer. I gave him a coupon book.
Well, we certainly appreciate the found.
Yep. Come on up." He throws down a ladder.
I'll climb up it.
Michi will also climb up it.
And you see a man who's kind of like strong but thin. And he's got like he's like a darker skinned man, like kind of like a very dark tan. And as if he's got like years and years of dirt just like encrusting his skin. And as if like this motherfucker never takes a shower. But he doesn't smell bad. And you kind of notice there's like thin layers of scars completely covering him.
Thank you for the ride.
Yep. People call me Mr. Buttons. You can sit down if you want. We'll be get going here in a minute. The ship almost drives itself.
It's awfully convenient.
I know. So what can I do you for? Where do you want to go?
We're heading for the city desert. The desert city, I should say.
Well, there's a few of those. Some more known than others. But I think you mean a jewel. Osriel.
Yes. Yes.
That one.
Ah, okay. Sit down. It'll be raining here in about 10 minutes.
I'll sit down.
I will also sit down.
He lights a hearth. And he says, "Would you like to hear a story?"
What kind of story?
Well, I got a few options. There's the man he would be king, and there is the story of Rosaline, the Night Flower.
Hmm.
Those are the two most popular ones, anyway.
What one's your favorite?
Well, it depends. Rosaline goes over the Pilgrim's Path, or at least what we think caused the Pilgrim's Path.
What's the Pilgrim's Path?
Why, it's the light that guides you home along the night sky, painted like an airbrush.
Hmm.
You hear about that one?
Let's hear it, I guess.
Okay, yep, give me a second. It becomes dark, and after some hours, the night and cool, dry air wafts about your party in the night sky. The stars are out in brilliance and beauty, counterpart to the illuminated green and purple lights dancing across the sky. Mr. Buttons is navigating the airship, and he begins to recount the tale of the lights, signaling to himself as he looks towards you. Though meaningfully he glances towards Virtue. You can see the stars up in the sky. Once, long ago, there was a woman with whom a god fell in love. She was the daughter of a miller, and a beauty in her time. She was beloved by all, but fell in love with no man. The Sultan, rest his soul, however, grew to fancy this woman. Rosaline Allaire was her name, the beautiful night flower. She danced in evening parties among men who grew to admire her form, her free spirit, and sparkling innocence, so the legend goes. She, the daughter of a mere miller, became the most sought after woman in the kingdom of the lush sands. And this time, the ranking of a person didn't matter. Only their ability within their chosen craft and their virtue mattered. And so the love of the Sultan was not something unexpected, for he was a great ruler among men, and he desired the most beautiful night flower to live among his garden. Rosaline would take the opportunities presented to her for a better life, but she never loved the Sultan. She would not let him touch her, for a flower is best left unobserved, so that it might live in beauty a little while longer. She spent many evenings among his watered garden and his palace grounds, walking among the buzzings of insects and the hustle and bustle of night time in the city far below. One night, leaning against the garden balcony, she saw it. The most beautiful star she could never imagine. It shone with a white golden light, illuminating the night like a second moon. It would forever remain in one place, so that Rosaline could always find it, night after night. She began to spend entire nights staring at the beautiful night sky, only the works of man or slave in the Sultan's garden. Entire nights were wasted away, staring at the same luminescent star. The Sultan grew jealous as he had come to realize that she would never love him, that she would never look upon him like she looked at that star. In a fit of rage and grief, he banished her from the city, having her dumped in the middle of the desert while she slept in the day. Abandoned, with no food or water, she was sure to die. However, whenever she walked the sands, trying to find her way home, she'd always remember that at night she could find her way, for the star would never betray her and watch her always. Seeing her struggle and her ultimate failure, she fell prey to the monsters in the dunes. The whispering messenger of fate, Selene, the night star, waved her hand among the sky, tracing the tears fallen by her loved ones who missed her, the ones who mourned her, mourning the one who was foolish enough to fall in love with the night star. In the sky, like the painting of green, purple, and blue, she drew a path that others might follow, so that they might find their way home in the cold desert below. So whenever you travel the dunes, dear traveler, remember Rosaline, the night flower, and give thanks for her sacrifice, so that you might take the pilgrim's path and find your way home. Legend says that once a year, where the North Star is at its brightest, along the pilgrim's path grows a single purple flower, a night flower, to symbolize where Rosaline met her dire end, a memory and a gift from the god that she fell in love with, so that none would forget her, so that she might dance forever in the memories of those who remember.
Hmm.
That was beautiful.
He mutters to himself as he lights a cigar and says, well, the god was a fool to fall in love with her, I think. After all, those who most wander often find the way.
It's a good
Perhaps
story.
you're right.
Now, I can show you another one. This is me, the DM.
Sure, I'm down.
Sure.
This one is like a solid 3 pages, so I will be sending this afterwards in Lord Dumps.
Okay.
So, Buttons takes out a couple of pouches and then brings out a red gem. And he says, do you wish to know about he who would be king?
Yes.
I suppose.
Buttons notices the slight nod and the consideration of both of you and continues solemnly. He removes the wrappings around the smaller bag to reveal a luxurious red and black gin. He holds it above the fire and crushes it within his hand. And sure enough, like summoned to his will, the gale of rain and wind intensified. The light from the fire began to flicker in time with his voice, and suddenly you could feel something ominous watching. Button speaks. Be not afraid. It cannot touch you here. It is merely a story. Keep that firm in your mind. It is merely a story. Make it a stone of the foundation of the earth. Make it harder than iron, than steel, than adamantium. It is not what you think, it is what you know. Know that it is just a story, and build upon it, layer by layer. Do not slacken your concentration, not even for an instant. For I am here, and we share our will. The powder of the gem hits the fire, and the world goes black. The darkness seems to rise as the fire wicks out in an instant. Suddenly, you are not sitting by the hearth on the deck of a ship. You are sitting in an infinite void. Below you is a room and a bed, where a strange illusory figure lies sleeping. You do not recognize the shape, but it is made from shadows, as if deliberately removed from your mind. She holds a vaguely feminine shape, but that is all you can tell. And then you hear it. Would you be God? The hissing whisper permeates your surroundings and wakes the figure with a sudden start. Your eyes open as if from a slumber, but the darkness at the edges of your vision does not go away. You see a dark shape take hold at the edges of the expanse that is this strange place. Spires like rock trees jutting out towards the endless, shapeless sky. Dim light radiates from the flecks of light rising from the endless void, as if snowflakes were stars, and they sparkle from the stolen light. A sense of ominous foreboding coats the air, and everything you can see and touch like a viscous oil. Like a living creature made of a shiny sheen, it whirls and writhes under the figure's touch, suffusing everything in its place. And as if it has finally noticed you, it abandoned the figure, and it fades into mist, as if someone's will began to believe that this was all too real. Tiny little sparks, came the voice, the sound of beetles crunching on dry leaves. It echoes everywhere, but seems to focus on you alone. And as if it was right next to your ear and you hear it. You could be so much more with my help. It laughs like a debased giggle. It whirls around, glowing darker and darker, like a tsunami of foul water, yet dry and wafts around like a mist. It spins and eventually coalesces into the eerie shape of a human, cloaked like the breath of a foul miasma. Except you can't see it exactly. It is as if you see everything but the creature in the shape of a human, as if they were a walking void, an impossibility. We see nothing in the shape of some monstrosity being vaguely human. It reaches out a black, clawed hand, and you can hear whispers from it and in your mind, chanting, almost singing like the echo of a massive chorus. Come with me, and we'll be in a world of pure devastation. As if from the edge of your vision you hear Buttons yell, concentrate. It is but a story. But his voice is so far away, and it feels so real. He reaches back a hand, crooked, and is obviously offended. It rises into the air and spins, and a wave of force and air like crushing tidal wave besets you. All around, the strange creature spins like a whirlpool, with you standing in the eye. Do you think you could harness the light without my help? The light of the dawn suffuses you for now. It leans in close, whispering from many mouths into your ears, and echoing a cappella from the singularity. Power is the only thing that can save you. Knowledge of magic can help, yes. Perhaps stem the tide of the encroaching tendrils of creatures that crawl from the ether like bloated maggots. It reforms like a school of fish, and in the shape of an ancient-looking boat. Heroes have crossed the sea before, delved the depths of the ocean, even unto breaking the center of the world, in search of secrets. Secrets that I offer you, heroes, villains, and even mighty demon lords have come to me before. I do not suffer most of them. They do little to interest me. It spins around and round, a liquid-like creature forming the vague face of a woman. It takes a different approach, this time speaking somewhat sweet and seductively. Yes, you are not the first to need my aid. It leans in even closer and whispers something, barely audible in your ear, yet the words are spoken boom with revelation, even as light fills your eyes to see into the past. Out of the mist, a prominent figure walks towards a city that stands against him and what he stands for. He does not draw his sword, for he does not need to. His mouth moves, but you hear nothing. Thunder without sound. After he finishes, the word break and the walls break before him, obeying the truth of his word. Scattered and destroyed, the army laid against him instead took the knee and surrendered to his indomitable will. He was led through the city and into the heart of its power. 200 men in silver and gold armor stand before the invader, fearful but determined to follow their oaths. Submit! They crumpled. They could not resist, but they would not break their oath, for the will and heart of spirit cannot be so easily conquered. Instead, they did the only thing they could. They died. Soon, the ruler was naught but a sheer presence of the intruder's aura. His eyes bloodshot, and they began to bleed from the pressure. He choked and died. His golden bejeweled crown fell upon the floor and landed at the feet of he who would be king. The intruder, now the Sultan, places his newly conquered crown upon his head, above his mask. Shadows rise and undulate, and as the day passes they grow like the dark side of the sun, engulfing him completely. The stark shadows match with the cold obsidian that makes up his mask. On your one eye, you can almost make out a sapphire gem, like a permanent, luminescent tear, as if a prayer for the fallen. In an overpowering, echoing voice you hear in your mind as the people in the city hear its choice. I shall give you what the world needs. A world without fear, a world without dissent, a world of order. Yes, a world of order he was granted. However, what would you wish for? The voice gets cut off with his as the shadows melt from a light above. With me, it was but a story. A story. The vision begins to fade, and you find yourself sitting back next to the fire, your flesh cold and clammy. Short of breath, you struggle to breathe and relax, unable to escape a lingering feel of palpable anxiety. The waking nightmare is over. You are back. You are back. Buttons lets out a thick, heavy sigh. That one always gets to me.
That was some story.
It always gets to you, then why retell it?
He sighs. Sometimes we do things not because we want to, but because we need to.
You had to tell the story?
He nods.
Yeah. Thank you for it. Even if it wasn't much by choice.
I think that's a great spot for us to end the session, unless you guys just want to chill.
Sounds good to me.
What'd you guys
Perfect way
think?
to end it. Woo!
Good.
Yeah, it's kind of hard running with just two people. I forgot that Kefi was was not going to be able to be here today, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And some other stuff happened with Sam, but that's okay. They'll be able to listen to the session and enjoy.
Fun times ahead.
Right.
All right, give me 1 second. Thanks so much for listening and have a wonderful day.